We're live. We are live. Hello, everyone. AmyR here. Face, card making space, live, unscripted, unfiltered. Crafty chaos. Unpaid interns in the corner to help.
That's me.
And as usual, it is going to be a little bit chaotic. I'm sitting here doing my supply list. It's not done. We're gonna get there. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Things are just, we do what we do. We do what we do to make all the things work. So, hello to everybody. Hello to everybody. Okay, I think for now this will be good for now. Whatever. If he needs to add to it, he can add to it. He's learning.
I know what to do.
He kind of knows what to do, but things have changed. That's my that's my concern. Let me add derp edit supply. Oh, and I gotta add the giveaway because we give away cards during my Sunday lives. Just again, disclaimer, because I get asked that because when I do bonus lives, which we'll get to in a second, I don't do the giveaway because it's difficult. To be honest, I only do them because he's able to draw the name and all the things while we're live, So during my Sunday lives, I give away the card and I mail it anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. So yeah, I'm gonna add that. It will be in the description box in a second. Just give me a minute, you guys. And I have not mailed out. I would have said it at the end. I say this for a month at a time. It's I haven't mailed out the last however many winners. Truth. This week, I have to leave my home more than once. So I was like, maybe get the cards filled out and sent this week. So that's the plan. Okay, let me add the giveaway little doobly-doo. It's just a little Google form. And again, disclaimer, we do not keep that info. Some may think it's a little bit ridiculous that I say this disclaimer, but to me it's important. We don't keep the info. We don't share people's personal info, anything. It's I just use the winner's address, send it to them. Everything else gets deleted because it's important. It's important. Where's my giveaway spiel? There it is. So yeah, welcome to the chaos, everybody. Welcome to the chaos. What else is new? Nothing. Amy's life is just crazy. Okay, where's I was like, where's the link? Okay, there is my link. Add. Got all of that. Everything will show up in a second. I will also add the visual supply list, which right now is potentially going to edit as today goes on because I am flying by the seat of my pants. What else is new? Again, nothing. Copy, doobly, save, mute this one so that you guys don't hear an echo, because, yeah. So yeah, hello to everybody. Hello to the ridiculousness. Okay, added that to the chat. Pin, so there's our little visual supply list. And the little giveaway things in the doobly-doo below. We should be good. Hopefully.
Let's make a card.
Yeah, we're gonna make a card once I find some of the things I plan on using. It is. It's been. I had promised last week that I was gonna have so many videos uploaded, and just there was a lot behind the scenes going on, you guys. Just a lot of things. Okay. Just breathe. I get it. I try to run as few errands as possible. Same. That's where my unpaid intern is a lifesaver. He runs a lot of errands for me. Because I'm always in here working. Okay. Yeah, everything seems to be working. I'm missing an ink pad that I need to use. I know it's here. There it is. Okay. So got an ink pad. We're going to need some cardstock. Cardstock, yes. These will work. Yes, I don't need a lot of cardstock. I just need that one will work. I just need a small piece of cardstock, man. We don't need much. These stamped images aren't going to be very big. There, this little scrap will work. I go once a week. Yeah, sometimes literally especially like this time of year, specific for me, this time of year, I am in here 24/7 basically. But there have been times where it's like I will step outside to like grab a package or something, and I'll be like, this is what the outside feels like. Haven't been out here in several days. Need to change that. I need to get outside, move around, all of it. It's a lot. Stamptember's coming, my friends. It's coming. In a week. Yeah. We need to figure out what we're going to do about that.
What?
Stamptember. It is going to, the 1st, September 1st is a Monday.
Yes, but it's also the holiday Monday.
For us.
Yeah.
Well, for everyone. But no, as in, because Simon Says Stamp, for those that aren't aware, Stamptember is huge. It is an exclusive month-long event with Simon Says Stamp. And when I say, if you've never experienced before, you're in for a treat because it is crazy. Throughout the month of September, there are tons of limited edition exclusive collaborations because Simon Says Stamp collaborates with a ton of crafty brands. There's also a very, very big Stamptember release, like because the Simon Says Stamp brand has their own products and they do generally monthly releases. The September/Stamptember release is always the 1st of the month, the 1st of September. That's what I was talking to you about. Because didn't we do that last year? We went live when it went live.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be Sunday evening. We might do 2 lives. It's been in the back of my mind percolating. I make no promises. We'll see what happens. It's a good time. Anyway, there is just a lot. There's a lot. There's all kinds of surprises. It's good. It's fun. I put out a ton of videos. I'm planning on putting out a ton of videos this year. We'll get to it. I fly by the seat of my pants. He actually takes some vacation time off. That is one of the nice things about him having a real job. He banks some of his vacation time so he can help because it's nuts. So it's fun. It's fun. So anyway, yeah. Stamptember starts midnight Eastern on September 1st. And then we're just going to go from there. Will the release be... That I don't know, Brenda. Will the releases... The limited edition collab sets... Up until last year was the first time they did that. Yeah, before that, they released at midnight Eastern. That changed last year. And they started releasing them at noon Eastern, I think. I think that's what they changed to. I forget. I think that's what it was. As of right now, I don't know. They will probably announce, just pay attention to the Simon Says Stamp social media. Because they announce things that I haven't seen. If I'd seen something, but I haven't seen anything yet. But I would assume things are going to start popping up this week. Because they start doing little countdowns and, just building up the hype because it's the biggest party of the year, literally, in card making. It's crazy, it's chaotic, and it's super, super fun. So I am somewhat gearing up for it. And then, like I said, behind the scenes, just dealing with tech and software and just all the administrative stuff, So we'll get to it. Anyway. Yeah, newness. But again, I do not know right now. I will update once they announce what they've decided to do, because there's pros and cons with both. A lot of people didn't like the midnight time, and then a lot of people didn't like the noon Eastern time. So you can't please everyone. We'll just figure it out. Okay. Diddly. Yeah, we will get to it, and yeah, it'll be good. Everything will be good. But we're going to make a card. I pulled out some oldie but goodies. Again, let me move a few things out of the way. And then, oh, and the other thing I want to say, I just, as my little, not necessarily disclaimer, but when it comes to Stamptember, because it's chaotic. There's a lot of releases, and there's limited editions, and there's, regular things, and blah, and tons of content and inspiration. Tons of content and inspiration. Nobody needs to stress. Don't worry about it. You know, don't fall prey to the FOMO and like, oh my gosh, like life is over. I missed out on this set, you know? And again, I'm not discounting like disappointment, that sort of thing. But it is supposed to be fun. And there's so much inspiration. I am one of a bajillion designers that participates, posting, you know, so much inspiration and just ideas, and people are mixing and matching, and it's a lot. There's a lot, and it's a lot of fun. Um yeah, that one with all the shipping issues. Are you getting supplies in time for Stamptember? Well, as of right now, I don't have the collabs. Let's all hope they get here this week.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. They're not here yet. So let us hope we do not have a repeat. It didn't happen last year, it was the year before, and I ended up crying on a live stream because I was so stressed out and I didn't get the collabs. They like got lost. FedEx just took them on a journey, and I got them a couple weeks into it. We made it work. It was stressful, and I'm an emotional glue bag, so you know. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Shipping is just, yeah, it's been just a wonderful thing to deal with behind the scenes with everything going on. So, okay, so we're good. All right, I'm going to switch down and I'll give you guys are going to see what I'm planning on doing. I'm using the plan. Speaking of September, this I think was part of last year's Stamptember release. Pretty sure. It was one of them. And I haven't used it yet. It's this little pumpkin spice vibes. You know? I'm bummed that the Craftoween box is sold out. Oh, I know. That's from Spellbinders. Trust me. I missed ordering it when it first popped up in the thing, and then it sold out, and I was like, oh, they'll restock it, and it is sold out everywhere. And I saw Spellbinders responded to people, and they said like they are not restocking it. I'm kind of heartbroken because it's so cute. Want it in my life, but is what it is. Okay, and Susan, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yes, I am an emotional glue bag. That I could get that tattooed on my forehead because it's true. Anyway, okay. Pumpkin spice. Yas. Love it. You know, I have no qualms. I am totally of the basic white girly. Bring on the pumpkin spice everything. Love it. I'm here for it. And this little stamp set is super, super cute. And it's a little mini set. And there is there's coordinating die set. That's what I was doing before I went live. And then, did I miss something? I don't think I did. Diddly-do. Yeah. Yep. So, and the other thing I'm planning on using, just for the background, I've done videos on this one, because I love this set. It is gorgeous. Yeah. Pumpkin to talk about. Background stamp, and then there's all these great sentiments, and then there is a really nice coordinating die set that has, like, sentiment wafer dies, some frames, and then, like, this is a nice set. And I think I might have, did I use this in a live? I can't remember. I've done videos on it, but this is just going to be the background. It's going to be a little more subtle. It's not the focus, but it went nicely with this, So, yas. I know it's so good. It's so good. I've made Halloween cards with it. I've made, I think, just basic, like, fall theme cards. But for now, we're going to use this little guy. And where's the white cardstock scrap that I grabbed? This one. So we're going to have this. And we're going to stamp this. This is just Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. And we are going to stamp our little to-go cup. Burp. Like so. And like so. I'm going to add that little pumpkin. Why not? He's cute. That's the other thing I need to go on the hunt for, is those, the candy corn and the pumpkin candies.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Let's go to Shoppers Drug Mart for those things. I wonder if
Shoppers carried the Brocs. They got in the Brocs ones. We'll see if they get them in this year, because there might be an issue with that, because those are from the US. But there's those other ones by Cottage Country or Cottage County, the Canadian ones.
Right.
Those are carried at the local dollar store.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to go. There's a fruit fly. Sorry. There's a fruit fly. We need to go to the dollar store and see if they have them.
Sure.
Cause yeah, candy corn. And trust me, I was of the camp of like absolutely detesting candy corn. You know, gross, so gross. And this is all Kathy Zielski's fault. Literally, it's her fault. Her and Tim Holtz and Mario, both though all three of them together were just like you mix them with like roasted salted peanuts, you know, and it's like a little like trail mix, and I'm like, really? And then I tried it, and dudes, it's so good. It's so good because it's like you got the sweet and the caramely from the candy corn, and the pumpkins are even better than the candy corn in my world. And then you got the roast salted peanuts, and then if you really, we're getting into food snacks again. Welcome to my lives. And then if you really want to make it, you add mini M&Ms to the mix. It's so good. It's so good. So anyway, that's my thing. I was literally thinking about that the other day, and I was like, oh, I need my trail mix. Okay, as I'm talking about snacks, I'm gonna stamp this is just Rainbow Splash black ink. We've had many discussions about this. This stuff works great with alcohol markers. Now, I'm not at liberty to say things, but do stay tuned, specifically regarding a black ink. There might be something coming soon. Not from me. I'm not releasing product or anything. I happen to have something that, yeah, you know. Crafter's Trail Mix. Yeah, that's basically what it is, you know? Yes. I like that. And now I kind of want to stamp more than one pumpkin because I can. I don't like the taste of the cottage ones. Really? See, and I like them. I like the pumpkin ones they get. It's true. Some candy corn is disgusting. It really is. But I found the cottage ones were okay. But there have been some that they taste like wax. So, yeah. Yeah. And like no wonder a lot of people don't like candy corn because it's like if you've only had the crappy ones, they're disgusting. They really are. Okay. I'm going to stamp the pumpkin. Do I want to have another one? Kind of. I kind of do. Do I want the little leaf as well? Kind of. We'll see how many of these little images I actually use. No, I'm not going to mess with the little leaf. He's cute. He's cute, but we don't need him. We don't need him. Where's this thing going to the grocery store? Oh, I know. Do the pumpkin candy corn taste different? No, like the ones that are the little like actual pumpkin shapes, they're just better. I don't know why. It's the same stuff that they make candy corn out of, but they're the little pumpkin shapes and they're better. They are better. I'm a fan. I prefer the pumpkins over the candy corn, if we're being honest. So, anyway. And then yeah, this time of year is the worst. All times of years, because after this, then it's the holiday candy, you know? It's like they start bringing out all the good stuff. And then after that, you know, it's Valentine's candy. And then it's Easter candy. And it never ends. It never ends. Okay. What are the best dark black inks for Copics? I honestly, that's what I've been using. Before this, and they discontinued it, was the Simon Says Stamps Intense Black Ink. I think these are a similar formula, and like I said, stay tuned. In a little over a week, there'll be something else available that I have a feeling is going to be very good. I haven't had a chance to test it yet. And there are other inks. There's many inks on the market. This one is my go-to now. And before that, for like over a decade, that's all I used was the Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink until they discontinued it. That's the only reason I switched to this. Okay, I'm going to quickly heat set this only because, bless you, only because I just stamped it. This ink doesn't need to be heat set. Most black inks don't, like ones that are meant for alcohol markers, etc., don't need to be heat set. However, when I stamp things more than once, you have more ink sitting on top of the cardstock. And so this just helps. Okay, I'll let that plug in. Memento Tuxedo Black ink used to be the main one, the only one. That's all we had way back in the day. I quit using that years ago. I didn't like it. Like I liked it at the time, but then once I discovered crisper black inks, I stopped using the Memento Tuxedo Black. It works fine. I just always had trouble with it. It wasn't crisp enough. However, back when we used to use the Memento Tuxedo Black, that was before we had stamp platforms. So that was always my biggest. So you got one shot, you got one stamp image. That's it. You couldn't restamp it unless you were using, the little stamp position or different things. And it was never very crisp and like solid. But now that we have a stamp position, you can stamp any ink multiple times, get the desired detail and intensity you want. The thing to always remember, regardless of the brand of ink you're using, if you are planning on using alcohol markers and you have stamped multiple layers, so 1, 2, 3, 20 times, whatever floats your boat, is all that ink, layer after layer after layer, is sitting on top of the cardstock. And if you find your ink is smearing, heat set it really well or let it dry overnight, And then I missed something. The edges fuzz out. Yeah, sometimes Memento is just finicky. It can also depend on the cardstock. Like there's so many factors that can affect it. This is the 110 pound. That's what I link to. Sometimes I use 80 pound. That's what I grabbed today was the 110 pound. So the thick stuff. I think we're good. We understand you have to hold out on it sometimes. Yeah, sometimes like I can't. Some things I'm not allowed to talk about till it's time. I gotta keep the secrets. Okay. I haven't picked colors either. I have a rough idea in my head of what colors I want to use. But my markers are in front of me. So I told you guys, everything's been kind of chaotic, So we're just gonna pull some alcohol markers. We'll do BG45. Where's my 45? Again, today's going to be, like I said, a little bit chaotic, So we got this beautiful color, oh yes, along with that one is really light. I forgot that these two. Let's try BG07. Will that work as a transition between the two? Possibly. Yeah, we're going to do Copic markers today because these are what. Yeah, that'll work. So with that, we need some brown for the latte that's going on in here. So that'll be, let's do E99. I have stuff piled up. Yes. And yeah, the things with alcohol markers. Ink, variable. Cardstock, variable. And nowadays, because we have so many options, a lot of people have their own preferences, which is great. So if you see coloring or a finished card and you really like it and they're using, alcohol markers, whatever, look and see what they decided to use, like what their choice of ink was and what their choice of cardstock was. Because again, it can vary. And then, because sometimes people will be like, well, it didn't work for me. The ink bled everywhere, or they had this issue, this issue, this issue. And it's like, did you use the exact same ink and the exact same cardstock? Because if you didn't, it could be one of them, you know? So E97. Where's 97? Where did he run off to? He's around here somewhere. There he is. Okay. So we got that. Yeah, that'll be our pumpkin spice latte. Then we'll do little cinnamon specklies. Oh yeah, and a cinnamon stick. There's a cinnamon stick in this one. Perfect. That'll be that one. And where's my E27? There he is. No, I want 27, 20. Ooh, 23 and 25. That's what I want. Okay, that guy, done. Now we need this one. And our pumpkin's going to be easy. I have like a kind of go-to color combo for pumpkins, which is why our 9, 7, and 4. Pumpkin! Done. And then we need a green for the little leaf. That'll be YG25. Another go-to color. And then we need a very light, we'll do W1 and W00 for the lid. We'll get to that. We got a little bit of green, a little bit of orange, a little bit of brown. And then we'll just do a really light, let's do E31. Is that what I want to do? Let's do E53. E53 and E51. Yeah, okay. I got a bunch of markers pulled out. Let's do a little bit of coloring. So we will do this guy in teal colors because that's a thing I love with fall shades. Let's put those there so you can see the colors I'm using. And for me, I go darkest to lightest. I've talked about this a lot. I've got 5 bajillion videos on my channel from over the years of me using many different types of alcohol markers, but Copics especially. I have done hundreds of videos using Copic markers. And I have been coloring with alcohol markers for roughly 20 years at this point. And I say that with the acknowledgement also that I don't consider myself like any form of like real expert. However, small caveat, I am actually Copic certified. That used to be a thing. It's not anymore. But back in the day, Copic used to do certification classes and I was able to take one. So I was like certified in Copic markers, like certified to teach coloring. Again, this was like almost 20 years ago. But yeah, don't ever compare. I say all this to just don't ever compare your, day one, your first attempts to someone else who's been doing it for years. It just all that is gonna serve is make you feel crappy. That you're not good enough, that your results just are nowhere near as good as so and so's who happens to be someone, who colors their entire life. Like that'd be like me comparing myself to a fine artist, if I tried to paint a Monet or something, and it's like, psh.
I've seen your Sistine Chapel.
Oh yes, my Sistine Chapel, so amazing. So just regardless of what it is, whether it's watercoloring, card making in general, any type of creative endeavor, don't compare your day one to someone else who has put in years and decades, a lifetime of experience. We all got to start somewhere, and even then, again, I've been doing this for so many years. I do not consider myself an expert with alcohol markers. Like, I know things. I'm decent. But there's still a long way to learn. And my biggest thing is I just don't have the patience. I don't. I really don't. And because I have ADHD and I'm just perpetually bouncing around and curious, instead of doing just alcohol marker coloring for 20 years, I do everything because I'm always like, ooh, I want a watercolor today. Ooh, I want an ink blend. Ooh, I want to try this or this or this. Nothing wrong with any of it. It just is. And I say all this because I get a lot of comments and sometimes people will message me and they feel so discouraged and it makes I always feel bad for them because it's like you don't need to feel this way. You know, it just alcohol markers are their own little beast and they genuinely take practice. Like they do. When I first started playing with them, I was like, well, this is hot garbage. You know, because it takes practice. It really, really does. It does. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get at and all the things. Um mhm. Still trying to figure out the correcting pad and yeah. 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 There are a lot of options. The Neenah Classic Crest Solar White, and it's a mouthful of words, but it matters because especially when you get into cardstock is another beast. Literally, it just is. Cardstock's a beast. Because there's different brands and weights and GSM and bleh. And Neenah Cardstock, they're a big paper manufacturing facility. They make a lot. And they have a lot of different names, and the names matter. Because I've had people that are like, I ordered this Neenah Exact Index Solar White, and it was hot garbage. And I was like, because it wasn't the classic Crest Solar White. I know. I know. I've linked to the stuff I use. And this one comes in the 80-pound and 110-pound weight. Yeah. The 110-pound weight is nice because it's a good card base weight as well. This is a nice heavyweight. The 80-pound is much lighter. I also recommend if you are new to alcohol markers and you don't know where to start, I recommend this specifically. The Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound. It's because it's thicker, it gives you a little more wiggle room because there's more space in the paper to absorb the ink. Because the thinner the cardstock is, there's a lot less paper fibers in there to absorb. And if you find you're constantly having, you're coloring something and it's just going everywhere and it's not staying contained, try a heavier cardstock. Because until you get comfortable with it, once you get comfortable with alcohol markers, then you can start going to lighter weights and playing around and doing different things. I hope all of this makes sense. Uh, do do do. Easiest use circle motion. Yes, when you're blending, technically circular motions. It kind of depends on what we're doing. When I did this, I purposely was kind of flicking the color because I went darkest, then my medium shade, and then I brought in my lightest. And I do that quite often on like images that are cylindrical. And again, I'm keeping this bare bones. I don't bother with light sources, all that kind of stuff. Because more often than not, I don't know where everything's going to go in the end. I'm not doing a scene. But things like this and like these, they're cylindrical in real life. So if you keep the darker to the edges and then you feather it in like that, it gives that illusion of the roundness. I've picked up on some things over the years. I am no expert, but I can do a little bit. uh, do. Yes. And everything that goes. Yeah. No, it literally, when it comes to color, like with everything, not just we'll take a pause before I keep coloring. Not just alcohol marking. Cardstock makes a difference. And that doesn't mean there isn't like a specific like this is good and this is bad. It varies. It depends on what you're trying to do. And so that's also ties into what I say about don't compare yourself to others, but also don't let yourself get discouraged because sometimes maybe you go and do something, you do an ink blend. You grab some cardstock and use your ink blend, and it's just the inks aren't blending, or it just looks like hot garbage because it happens. Sometimes it could be the cardstock, or it could be the ink. There's just so many different factors at play, and that's why I do what I do. Not to say like this is the best way, this is the only way, these are the only product. No, it's more like this is what I used, and I list and name and I say this because I've had people cause so much grief over like she just name drops every product she uses. And I'm like, well, you kind of need to know. If I didn't say and I was just like, I'm just using a black ink and white cardstock, does that help? You know? So those people, they are not friends of the Crafty Chaos crew, you know? But I share what works for me. And then the little bits and pieces I figured out along the way, you know? So there we go. And hello to those that are popping in. It could be all kinds of things. And that is always something to keep in mind, regardless of what you're doing. And if you're experimenting, whether it's coloring, whatever it is, if you are experimenting, if you're just sitting down and having like a crafty experimental session, I recommend this. Do I do this personally? No, because do as I say, not as I do. I recommend having a little post-it note beside you and write down what you were doing. Write down what cardstock whatever it is you're fiddling around with, write it down as you're doing it. Because then you can maybe go back to that, because if it doesn't turn out very well, or you discover like the coolest color combo or a technique and you're just like, this is the most coolest thing ever. If you've got it written down, you're going to remember. Because if you're anything like me, you're going to forget in 20 minutes. Been there, done that. So yeah, there's a lot of good cardstocks for alcohol marker coloring. For a lot of years, I've been using Simon Says Stamps Smooth White 120 pound, which is even heavier weight than this. I love that stuff. The only reason I've started using the Neenah again is because I have a lot of it. I had a full like ream of it, and I was like, oh, I hit the mother load because that's expensive now again. So yeah, that's another good one. There's the Copic Express It. I tried that years ago. I wasn't a fan, but that's why we've got options. And then yeah, there's a lot of other brands of white cardstocks on the market that some people either love specifically for alcohol markering or they love it for this, or you know, there's options. There's options. I forget in 5 seconds. Yep. Sometimes like I will do a video and I will forget. You know, I go to edit my video and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I did. You know, it just happens. It just happens. Yeah. Like I was kind of joking, and I joke with this a lot. Like, you know, I misplace things and I forget where they are. Like that pack of watercolor paper, still eluding me. It's been at least 6 months now, a year. I don't remember how long it's been. And then yesterday I posted a video using the Simon Says Stamp Beautiful Butterfly set that I absolutely love. I mentioned that in a live like 2 months ago that I was looking for that set and I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it for months. Months. And then I found it just the other day. It was like sticking to the back of another stamp set. I thought I was crazy. Even the unpaid intern was trying to help me find it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you're not going to find it. And he didn't find it either. I was like, I've looked at everything. How did it disappear? It's not like I take anything out of here. Like everything stays here in the garage with me. Yeah, it was literally lurking behind another stamp set. So anyway. And yes, things like color combos, if you come, like whether it's alcohol markers or inks, or whatever, if you figure out a combo you like, that's another, keep track of it. Write it down. Do a little swatch chart book. I started one for Copic markers years ago. Have I finished it? No. Have I even put it in a little like album? No. I've got a stack somewhere around here of different little color combos that I have colored and labeled. Could I tell you where that stack of little things are? No. No idea. They're around here somewhere. I'll find them someday. Yeah, that watercolor paper. It's the same thing because it's a pack and it's in one of these little, it's cut down watercolor paper that I keep in one of the little storage sleeves. And I had a bunch of it, you know, but I had it in my hands. And I would have been wandering around here, you know, putting things away, or goodness knows who knows what was going through my head. And I just, you know, brain out in the clouds, and I stuck it somewhere. So it literally, it's probably stuck between a stamp set, or I don't know. It's been months. I'm not too concerned because of why I keep a lot of watercolor paper on hand. So I'm not like heartbroken over it. I'm just annoyed. you know, but it'll show up eventually. It will. So now we'll do our little pumpkins. Oh, I gotta do the. I'll get to that. I'm already onto this, so we'll just do this. It's all good. It's all good. But yes, a lot of you understand. Our supplies, when we're not looking, grow legs and walk away. That is why I keep multiple pairs now of my reverse tweezers. Because the minute I got them little friends, they no longer walk off. So take that advice as you will. You need 30 of everything. Honestly, you know, it just is. It just is, okay? Are you in my craft? I know. And it's the older I get, the worse it gets, you know? And I've talked about this. I will literally be on my phone. And I've had heart attacks while on my phone, freaking out, wondering, where did my phone go? I can't find my phone. And I'm like panicking while I'm on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. And I've said I'm a disorganized mess. I've been more disorganized. I'm trying, like, especially right now, because I need to get things a little more cleaned up. But the worst part, too, in a craft room is you start cleaning and organizing, and then the whole time I'm just like, oh, that's actually, yeah. I was moving a few things around, and I came across this set, and I was like, I forgot I had this set. I forgot this was a thing. And then I'm like playing, you know, and not getting anything done. So I pulled that out the other day, and I was like, ooh, I'll use that on my live, because it's such a cute set, and I hadn't used it. Oy. So yeah, just is what it is. So now we blend those shades of orange together. 2 to 3 of everything usually works for me. I know, right? Generally, if you have multiples of whatever it is, it's just less likely to get up and walk away. There we go. And then I've talked about this in a couple of voiceovers in recent videos, how just certain things I hadn't used in a while. And then it was because they weren't accessible. I had boxes of things piled up on top. You know, I had a mess going on. So once I moved things, I was like, ooh, look at these markers. Or, ooh, here's my distress spritz, because I couldn't access them. I had piles of things in the way. And then once I moved some stuff around, I was like, oh, I hit the jackpot, because those distress spritz are fabulous. And who doesn't love shimmery sparkle? Okay, that was YG25. And then for the little speckly bits, I'm just going to use something light, like a... Do I want to use the E97 again? No. No, I need to redo some of my charts, because I think the E97 is a little too... No, that can work. Let's use the E97. It's little speckles of cinnamon on top of the... Ooh, no, wait, I lied. I know what I want to do. We'll give the whipped cream a smidge of color. Not much. Just like that. Like that. Like that. Yeah, just, you know, a hint. A hint. Then we take that little guy and just kind of go burp right over the little stamp dots just to add a bit of color. Boop, boop. Very simple. Nothing too crazy. There we go. It just gives it that little extra something. I missed what you guys were... You'll find the paper when you reorder some. Technically, yes. But like I said, watercolor paper, my basics, things like my basics, white cardstock, watercolor paper, like things that I use a lot. Because, you know, card bases, watercolor paper. I use watercolor paper a lot. Those I have backups on backups on backups. And especially if I like hit up a sale, that sort of a thing, I stock up. Because being in Saskatchewan, things take a while to get to me, and I do this as a job, and that's the worst thing ever, is if I run out of something that I need. So I'm not worried about the watercolor paper, but that's always the thing too. You think you lost something, you order a new one, and before the new one arrives, you find the old one. That's also, if you want to find something you've lost, order a new one. It's just, that is how the system works. I don't make the rules. It just is what it is. Okay, we're going to use kind of beige shades for the little to-go cup and do the same sort of thing here. Just doot, 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 and then a little bit under the lid. Just creates that little bit of illusion like that. And then, do. And then, okay, no, I was like, what am I doing? And then that one to blend it out. Just like that. Actually, I bought two that you would have to contact them about that. With something like that, when you accidentally order multiples, I can't speak for any brand at all. Like what their you would have to check their policies and contact them. But I would think that you would have to pay to ship them back, and you'd possibly have to pay a restocking fee because like a person would have to open it, re-enter it in the sense, it takes time. Your best bet with something that if you order a double of something, been there, done that, is I contact a friend or someone or go on a local group, because there's so many local options now of like a D-stash type group, and you might be able to just sell it, because I've been there, done that. Accidentally ordering more than one of something that I don't need a multiple of. Like sometimes it's like, oh, I've got extra cardstock. But yeah, when it's like a coordinating die set or that sort of a thing, yeah, usually the easiest way to deal with that is to try and like de-stash it locally, because yeah, with that is one of the cons of online ordering is to return it, you would have to ship it back, and the cost to ship it back, and then yeah, most places charge a restocking fee because it just is. It's extra work to deal with that. And I always try. I try. I try when I'm ordering, but I ordered something not too long ago. I forget what it was. I ordered something. I do that more than once where I'm just like, woo, and I go place the order. And then when it shows up, I'm like, why is there multiple? It's like, and then I actually check my order, and I'm like, I accidentally added it to the cart twice or whatever. And yeah, been there, done that. Okay, I'm just using my colorless blender to kind of push that color deeper into the cardstock and feather it out a little more. Just to give it that. There we go. There we go. I don't have any crafty friends. Well, that's, that's why we've got live streams and groups and everything else. I would highly say if you're on Facebook, I know. We've had discussions about Facebook. Trust me. Facebook, not a fan. It is more often on hell site. However, there if you curate your feed enough, which is what I've spent many years doing. I use Facebook just mostly for like card making. I've got my little Facebook page that's linked in the description below the video. There are a lot of groups on Facebook. There's also like de-stash groups, crafty groups. Some are specific to a brand, so etc. And then some, local buy and sell groups, that sort of a thing. Even and not even just specifically crafting. Like I see every once in a while on my local buy and sells for my like local communities, people will be listing crafting supplies because they're de-stashing whatever, and quite often, depending on what it is and the price they're asking, some stuff gets snapped up like immediately. It's nice, you know? So that is always a good way to find things or like de-stash stuff, etc. There we go. There's our little lid. Gave it a little bit of but yeah, trust me, Facebook is technically a hell site. Don't even get me started. But I've curated my feed. It's mostly crafting. I follow a few funny people, you know, that sort of a thing. And I just keep it mostly to that. And I avoid everything else like the plague. Avoid the comment section of anything unless it is like our people, you know, crafting or that sort of thing. Because nope, just nope. We ain't going there, friends. Okay, we need to do the little leaves. We'll do a green one and an orange one and a brown one. Why not? We'll just use the same colors. We'll keep this simple. Doodly doo. But yeah, I only keep Facebook because I've got my Prairie Paper and Ink page on there, and I have curated that page, and I've poured blood, sweat, and tears into it. I'm at, what am I at? Almost 20,000. I'm at almost 20,000 followers on there, so I ain't canceling that thing anytime soon. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, there we go, and then we'll just do a brown, and that's the E23. And I accidentally went outside the line just a smidge. So we'll use the colorless blender to push that, and I did that here as well. So you take the colorless blender and you just kind of push it deeper into the cardstock. That's where the thicker cardstock helps. So we just do that, and we're good. We're good. Okay. So yeah, not a whole lot of colors. Very fall-esque, you know? So, all right. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Okay. No, we're good. Everything's good. So set those aside. And then where's my white gel pen? White gel pen. I've talked about this. When it comes to gel pens, this is my go-to. I've been using this one for years. Or, well, when it runs out, I get a new one. Jelly Roll 10. With Jelly Roll specifically, they have a 10, they have an 8, and they have a 5. And those numbers refer to the line width. The Jelly Roll 5 is very, very tiny. Very thin lines. I don't like the other two. I don't use them. The 10 is the thickest width. The thing to remember with gel pens, regardless of the brand, is you need to use them consistently. If you let it sit for months on end, it dries up. It just does. That's just the nature of these types of products. Don't hoard your gel pens. You know, if you buy a stack of them with the expectation like I'll use them someday, like in a decade. No, you won't. They'll be done for. So the more consistently you use them, the longer they last. However, if you had one and it's been sitting for a while and you go to like color with it and it's not, nothing's coming out of it, warm it up a little bit. I'll even like sometimes I've shown this trick before. I will stick it in my bra. Stick it under your thigh. Either one works. Things like that. I even had someone contact me or they commented, I forget. And they said they were sitting and crafting with the heated blanket on and they didn't realize like the pen was sitting like on the heated blanket but it worked. It warmed it up and it works. So I will sometimes like scribble a bit, or if I find it's really being sticky, even like the palm of my hand, because again, the warmth, I'll just go like this and that'll work. But the biggest thing to remember is it just needs to be used consistently. If it sits forever, it dries up. So, like I was saying earlier though, I don't really follow any sort of light source when it comes to adding little highlights and things. I just put them wherever. I'm not the creator to follow for that sort of technical stuff. Someone, if you really want to like learn specifically with stamping, because like alcohol markers, there are artists out there who layer and can do realism, like full on, like paint a portrait with alcohol markers, you know, that sort of thing. Love it. But if you want to learn something with alcohol markers about like shading and light sources and all of that, Christina Werner, 100% go to. And there's many other makers that are also phenomenal colorists. But she's done many videos over the years, and she's done live streams because she'll do like full on shadow theories where she'll stamp an image and she'll use pencils and all that kind of thing to like to literally mark where her light source is coming from, and then she'll talk you through it. It's fascinating. So that is one place to learn that sort of stuff. Whereas me, I'm just like, I stick it wherever I want. And more often than not, my light sources defy all physics, and I'm okay with that. You know, I don't worry about too much. I just like, oh, it'll look cute there. You know, a little dot there, a little this there. Whatever happens, you know, little dots, little dashes. I'll also use it outside the lines to cover up if I went outside the lines, because that happens a lot too. I don't worry about it too much. So that's what we do. Stick it there under your boob and it warms up. Yeah, exactly. Body heat does a wonderful thing. And, you know, I use my bra as a pocket. Always. It's convenient. And that's a rant that the unpaid intern is very used to because women's clothing does not have pockets most of the time. And just down with the patriarchy. Anyway, okay. We did our coloring in our little... Alice Keegan is amazing. Oh yeah. Kitten Clowder, Alice from Kitten Clowder, she does... I don't even have words for the type of coloring she does. She's phenomenal. Like, and she does like classes too, I think. Like full classes where you get... I think you can purchase the classes as well, and she'll do, like, she has a printable and all of it. I've seen her work. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. So, yeah, there's a lot. It's not like Christina Werner, yeah, Alice Keegan, and there's many out there that just do a lot. And they'll get into like some of the technical aspects of it. People ask me to do that, but honestly, you guys, I start getting into the weeds with it. And for me, it's like I just want to have fun and not think. I was like, light source, it's all around us. It's here. You know, we're just not gonna worry about it. We're just not gonna worry about it. Okay, there we go. I never use my bra. Oh, my bra just works, man. It's a good pocket. Like so often, because it doesn't help also that I either live in yoga pants, which don't have pockets, or so many times my pants, even my sweatpants sometimes, don't have pockets. Really annoys me. So if I don't have a pocket and I need to put something somewhere, shove it in my bra. I just don't care. And then I get weird looks from people because, you know, there's like things already hanging out the neckline of my shirt. And I'm like, whatever. Sandy Elnock. She's another one. Sandy Elnock is... She teaches very well. She does, yeah, you can get classes from her. Highly recommend. Sandy Elnock takes everything from like stamping, card making, basic level, all the way up to like, she is a fine artist. Like some of her artwork is... She is a very, very good. And she's the one that does the hex charts. If you don't have one, she's got many different hex charts. She does these herself. She organizes all this, builds this chart. It's like $5. You print it off on your choice of cardstock that is alcohol marker friendly. So I printed this off on Copic, Neenah, Classic Crest. My brain hurts. Anyway, Sandy Elnock, take a screenshot, you know, sandyelnock.com/hexchart. Highly recommend, worth it. And again, she's got many for different brands. And then she's got classes. She's got a YouTube channel with tons of free content. Highly recommend. You want to learn about so many things. Coloring and lights, all of it. Highly recommend. Highly. But those hex charts, game changers. I got to redo mine because mine are old. You know, Alcohol markers do fade. I gotta redo all mine. I'll get to it eventually. Eventually. I'll get to it, okay? Someday. But yeah, she's another good one. There's so many good ones. So many. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When I had my suits made, I had the tailor put pockets on the inside like men's suits. Yeah. Like women need pockets. It just annoys me. Like we need pockets too, okay? You know? One of my biggest pet peeves. Anyway. There we go. There we go. Hello, Kilbeer. Let me die cut this guy. But yes. Yeah. Nothing makes me more angry than ordering something. Like there's one brand of sweatpants I really like. And they make, and I'm not going to name the brand because they've changed it since, but they have like the men's version and the women's version. And I've ordered both because I would order the women's version for myself and the men's version for the unpaid intern. And nothing makes me more angry than the men's version. They're the same price. The men's version would have pockets and the women's wouldn't. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Really? You know? So, yeah. So annoying. Like, women deserve pockets, man. No pockets for girls' clothes is patriarchal. It is a patriarchal thing. It's absolute total malarkey. Okay? It makes me angry. It really does. All right, we've got our little guys die cut. I am just going to set these aside and hopefully don't lose them amongst all the things. So we're going to set that aside. I need some cardstock for the background because I want to stamp that. I have a rough idea. Like I said, I have a rough idea of what I'm doing today. Everything's kind of chaotic. Again, what else is new? Is anyone surprised? You shouldn't be. And if you are, well, welcome. Welcome to the chaos. Welcome to the chaos. We're going to use some Desert Storm. There we go. 2, 2, 2. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. You know, it's one of my little side, not so much hobby, it's more of an interest, is fashion and specifically the history of fashion. Like, I can go down so many rabbit holes with that because it's fascinating and how fashion, different things have impacted society in so many ways. Again, I could go on and on about it. It's a fascinating thing to me, and how fashion can be used in statement, like so many things, you know, and how we got from here to here, and how this became a thing, and da 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 da. It's interesting. It's just interesting, you know. And exactly, Joanne. I don't carry a handbag, so I'll only buy pants with pockets. Yeah, who wants that? Like, I don't mind. I like having my purse and all the things, but sometimes you just don't want to. Pockets. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Pockets. Ah. Do I want to use my? Yeah, I'll use the MISTI to stamp this. Don't really need to. Sometimes I just do background stamps face up. It's all fascinating. And yeah, if people are interested in a little rabbit hole, here's a prompt for you: is look up the origins of the white wedding dress. You know, it's fascinating. You know, and the fact that the original meaning of it had nothing to do with purity or anything else. It was just the monies because it was Queen Victoria. You know, and then how that impacted the climate, really, because then they, you know, yeah. Again, it one thing leads into another, and it is literally fascinating. So, yeah, one of my just little side things every once in a while, and I'm just like, I'll just be like reading articles and finding all kinds of yeah. And there's a bunch of like content makers, creators and stuff, or people with like degrees and all of it too, that will share different research papers, you know, and their thesis and all this. I love it. I love it. It's fascinating. People think clothing is just so silly, and yet it's like, no, we all need it. We all wear it. And yeah, the impacts it's made over the centuries. There we go. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yes, Cheryl, exactly. Yeah. Yes. That's kind of why I wear hoodies now all the time. One, because I work in the garage, and the older I get, the colder I get. I'm always cold. Like, people kind of comment on that sometimes during my lives, because they're like, you're wearing a hoodie. It's, it's hot out. And I'm like, yeah, not in the garage. Love it. It's, this was gingerbread ink, by the way. Just, yeah, I'm cold all the time. In fact, it's only a matter of time before I'm going to have to pull out my little heated throw and plug that in, because I'll be in here working, wrapped up in my little heated throw, because we have a heater in here. Trust me, it is Saskatchewan. It gets cold. Like, half the year is winter here, and yeah, it gets cold, but I've got the heater, and then I'll have my little heated throw, and I have a space heater. Like, we got to do the things so I can be as comfortable as possible. And then when we're doing the lives, he also has a heated throw, because I'll wrap him out by it, because he's in the far corner. So we make it work. Okay. Yes. I know. This background stuff is, oh no, wait. I wanna, I'm gonna use it one more time. We'll leave it in place, because what I'm gonna do, so I had lined out this panel with this corner. Let me clean off all this extra ink so that I don't get ink everywhere. And then while I have it out, I'll stamp the inside of the card. So let me wipe that off. Doop, and doop. There we go. And I need a card base, which I didn't grab. Okay. I deserve compensation for pain and suffering. Anyway, okay. A2 card base, 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Where the score line is, I take a piece of Post-it tape. I've talked about this a lot. I use the same piece over and over again. I just stick it to the top of my die cut machine. And I just use this to mask off right where the score line is, so I don't stamp past it or get ink past it. And then I line this up with where the other card front was. So basically there. We should be good. My mom was a fashion designer in Hawaii. She used to design the Miss Hawaii gowns. Oh, I have to keep reading that. And showstopper wedding gowns for fashion shows. She designs the golden. Oh, that is so cool, Joy. That is cool. Actually, here's a little fun tidbit. I was a model once when I was a kid. Oh, what was that store? It wasn't Eaton's.
Woolworths?
No, not Woolworths.
Woolco?
No. They were small. And they had it in...
Sand?
Was it Sand Store? I think that's what they were called. It was a clothing store when I was a kid. So this would have been literally over 30 years ago. They don't exist anymore. And I think it was a Canadian thing. I don't know if they were in the States. But the one year, like they would do when they would get in. It was a fall fashion. I forget. It was a fall fashions, holiday fashions. I don't remember because I was a kid. Anyway, I was one of the models. And I had to walk the runway in my little dress. I loved it because I got to wear, I got brand new shoes and frilly socks, the little white socks with the frills, and then my little dress. And yeah, had to get out and like walk the little runway. But yeah, I was like 7. I was little. Yeah, no photos of that either, sadly. But yeah, I was a little runway model for, one day. Anyway, okay. Yeah, Sandstorm. That's what it was. Yeah. The fact that you remember the jingle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm using a lighter shade of ink. This is Cookie. Yeah. So yeah. No, it definitely wasn't Zellers or Sears. It was Sandstorm because Zellers and Sears were in the city. I was in like a small town at the time, and Zellers and Sears were like big. I used to love going back in the day. Same thing when I was a kid. My grandma would take me to Zellers because they had a little restaurant in there.
It's called restaurant.
Yeah, they just called it was just restaurant. Best Jello ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was always a highlight of my day when my grandma would take me to Zellers and we go to the restaurant. I didn't care for the shopping or anything else unless there was like toys involved or food. You know, the actual clothing when I was a kid, I really didn't care at all. There we go. There we go. So, yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I was a runway model. Okay. So, now we've got the inside stamped. I can remove that stamp and put it back. Not like we have, you know, whole lot of issues in technically losing this, but I think I've proven I can give me a challenge. I'll lose it. I'll manage that. It's a given. And then my Post-it tape, he gets stuck back to my die cut machine. And again, I use him until he's inked through or just so full of dust and whatever. Lift that off. And there we go. We had a department store with a cafe. Jello cubes with whipped cream. Yes! Exactly!
Yep.
You'd get your Jello cubes and it would have whipped cream on top of it, and it was just better than any Jello you could have at home because it was in cube form. I don't know, even to this day, if I went to a place and they had Jello cubes, I would probably be ridiculously excited. It's true. I've tried making Jello cubes at home, and for whatever reason, that is something I can't do.
I think they double up.
You have to like make it more concentrated, I think. But I've tried it and it just didn't work, and I was really frustrated, and I've never done it, attempted it again. Besides, it's not the same when you make it. It was like I used to love that, and the way back in the day when I had my oldest too. So again, over 20 years ago, that was one of the hospital food options, like as a dessert, was the Jello cubes with whipped cream.
Yep.
Loved it. You know, it was something I always looked forward to after having the kid and going through all that. I was like, I get Jello. Anyway. Yeah. Would love to see you back then. Yeah, I don't have there was no photos. No one took any photos that I know of. Like, I don't have any. I've got some pictures of when I was a kid. I was quite a little, I was a little dork. But yeah, I don't have any photos from that fashion shoot. That would have been cool. Like walking around, like to have photos of that. But I don't have very many photos from when I was a kid. They were few and far between. So it just was what it was. Okay, so there's the inside of our card. I'm gonna add a sentiment from this. I'm wondering. Oh, I think I'll stamp just this in black, the Sending Fall Vibes. This will lighten up a bit as it dries. My mother was a dressmaker and made all my clothes. Yeah, my mom wasn't a dressmaker, but up until a certain point, she sewed a lot of our clothes. I remember she made myself and all of my cousins' dresses for one of my other cousins' weddings because we were all little flower girls. And my mom made all the dresses for it. You know, with the big, this would have been back in the early 90s, very early 90s. So the big puffy sleeves, you know, and the bangs and the teased hair and curls. I can like picture that. And that I actually probably have a picture of somewhere. It's funny. It's funny. Anyway, okay. We got a stamp sentiment on the inside. I'm getting so sidetracked. Yeah, popsicles are fun, but nothing beats Jello cubes, man. Heck, even just Jello with some whipped cream. It's the best. I'm going to have to do that later because we've got some old boxes. I'll make some Jell-O. I do love Jell-O. Okay. So that's the sentiment from the little pumpkin spice set. And we're just going to ink him up. Line him up first. And then... I know, the teased hair. Oh, the 90s hair.
I love 90s hair. But it was so unsustainable.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Like, considering not the 90s, but before that, you know, we blew a hole in the ozone because of the, the hairspray use. It ain't like that anymore, man. But yeah. Always having my bangs curled. And usually curlers, not hot rollers. When I was a kid, curlers. Like going to bed with wet hair in curlers. And those plastic pieces poking you in the head. Yep. I remember all that. Where's my black ink? There it is. Okay. And I'm not even going to acknowledge that comment. Chris will like it. He'll probably try it.
For what?
You'll see it. You'll see that comment. Orange Jell-O with cottage cheese.
Oh, yeah.
That is a crime. He's right now, he's got a bowl of cottage cheese and he crumples up potato chips into it.
Yep.
That's why I said I deserve compensation for my pain and suffering. I can't do it, you guys.
Delicious.
Cottage cheese, no. I would probably love it. I can't I take one look at it and I'm just like, nope. I leave the room. So normally he does not eat that around me, but I guess today he just felt like, since I'm stuck doing this live, that I can't beat him. There's too many witnesses. Gross. I can't. No. It's a texture thing. It looks weird. I don't like it. But he likes it and it's okay. That's fine. It's fine. Anyway. Yes, the pink foam rollers with the clips and the little plastic pieces on the foam rollers, the clips on those curlers would leave like dents, you know, so that my ringlets were never like proper ringlets. They would always have those weird little bends in them from those plastic pieces. Or more often than not, you'd wake up and there'd be like 3 laying on the bed or whatever, you know, so you had like half of it was curled and then there'd be like little limp pieces and, you know.
Katie Seagal wore it best in Married with Children, the 90s hair.
Oh yeah, Katie Seagal's hair in Married with Children. That hair. Yeah. I had that hair as a kid. Yeah. And she wore those like super hot pants in that show with the heels.
Yes.
Fabulous. She was an icon. Married with Children. And I grew up, Chris and I have talked about this a lot. I grew up, I didn't have television for the most part. It's a long story. We're not getting into it. But when I would stay with my grandparents, I would sleep in the living room and I'd pretend to sleep. And because Married with Children was the last show on, like right before midnight when they would shut the TV off. This is dating us. A lot of you guys understand exactly what I'm talking about. Kids nowadays could never. Like the TV would shut off. You know, there was nothing there. It would just go to that, you know, either the rainbow screen, the test pattern, you know. And Married with Children was the last show at 11:30. And my grandpa would watch it. And I would just be laying there and I would watch it, you know. Fascinating. Not appropriate for children, but fascinating. That and The Simpsons are the two I remember. Because Simpsons used to play really late at night too.
For one reason or another, and then it sort of became mainstream.
Yeah, but it was The Simpsons I remember, and then Married with Children. I don't remember any other shows in the evenings, but I would watch them. And Married with Children, fascinating. And yeah, Katie Seagal, specifically, I think was like, as a kid, was like basically my first girl crush. I had no idea what any of that meant, but her hair and the outfits and her attitude. Loved her. She was amazing. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember the cartoons used to play before the TV went off. They always used to have like an exit like thing, a sign off.
The "Do you know where your children are" message. Chris and I talk about that a lot. It's like you can't. We're not that bad. You know, they don't have to play that on our TVs now anymore.
No.
You know, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? The fact that, you know, that generation of parents needed to be reminded. Oh, we're getting into the weeds today.
Do you know where your children are? I told you last night, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 3 channels for us. Yes, we had channel 3, channel 9.
And 12.
Was it 12?
Or 13 was the French channels.
Yeah, sometimes there was a French channel here in Canada. I was never able to pick that up, but we had channel 3 was the main one.
That was global.
Yeah, there was channel 9, and was it maybe it was 6? Channel 6?
I
I forget. There was generally
It was like
2,
8 or 9.
sometimes 3 if you were lucky. You know, on the big TV where you go thunk, thunk, thunk to get to the channel, and then you'd adjust the rabbit ears to get the reception. Did that one a lot too. Add a little tin foil to it. Again, kids would never. They would never know. They'd never know how easy they've got it. Anyway, I had those rollers that were like sticks that bent up. Oh, I know which ones. The phone with the piece of metal in the middle of them, and they were flexible. I know exactly which rollers you're talking about. I had those at one point. I was a little older, and we tried them out, and I hated them. I hated them, but the concept was kind of cool. Okay, so we've got our background, and then I need to die cut. Yeah, the CBC here in Canada. That was like the main channel. And that was another, my other grandma I used to like going to because they had the channel with all the retro shows on it. Like the black and white stuff, like I Dream of Jeannie, and like it was its own channel. I think. I don't remember. Anyway, I've talked about that. I liked that so much. Like I used to watch Gilligan's Island and I Dream of Jeannie and I Love Lucy. And then when I was really bored, I'd watch soap operas and like
Married with Children or General Hospital.
No, things like General Hospital or the British one, Coronation Street. I remember watching that as a kid and just fascinated. Like I was fascinated. You know, it was like they talk different. You know, I was a kid. I'd never met a British person in my life. Anyway, oh, do I want a bigger one than that? Well, let's try it. We'll try the bigger one, and if I don't like it, I can cut a smaller one. Okay, we're gonna cut some cardstock with that. And then, so I'm using a circle. Let me get back to, let's get back to the card making, you guys. This is just the basic shaped circles. Did I link to those? Did I add the link to those? I don't even know if I did.
Circles?
Did I? Nope.
No.
Here, 8006 SD. You need to click on the shop.
Yeah, I know.
And then unclick the other one. No, yeah. You got it? Okay. Yep, that one. Oh, and then this one. The other one is the Scalloped circles wafer die. Okay. Flintstone. Oh, the Flintstones? Yes. When I was in kindergarten, I lived just down the street from the school as a kindergartner, and I would run home at lunch, like run, like a bat out of hell at lunchtime because Flintstones played right at noon. So I would race home at lunch, plop myself in front of the TV, and eat my lunch and watch the Flintstones. Like, yeah, I did that kindergarten and grade 1 and grade 2 until we moved. But yeah, I would watch the Flintstones. So, and the Jetsons. Love the Jetsons. That one I could only see usually when I was at my grandparents, and loved the Jetsons as a kid. I still talk. I was telling that to Chris. I was like, I need a Rosie. It would make life so much easier.
The first time you said that, I thought you meant Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah, Chris was just like, why do we need a Rosie the Riveter? And I was like, Rosie from the Jetsons. Rosie the Riveter is amazing. Don't even get me started on that. But no, I was like, I would like a robot assistant. Thank you. Like an actual one. We're not even going to get into AI and all that disgustingness. But anyway. Okay. My granddaughter saw a rotary dial phone with a great grandmother still uses, and it blew her mind. Oh, not just a rotary. My parents had, we had an antique. Wasn't a, like the old, with the wood box.
Yeah, the one where you had to like.
Yes, we had one of those, and it actually worked for a little bit, you know, but
it would still.
Our house had a lot of antiques and stuff in it, and I remember because my mom told us when her and her sister were little, because you had the party line, and they used to get in trouble all the time because they'd be eavesdropping on the party line, and the other people would know it's those Crips kids on the party line again, and they'd get yelled at by the other people in town.
Party lines were such a unique
yes,
thing.
yes. Again, kids wouldn't understand. And then the rotary phone, like how to dial a rotary phone. Yeah, we had one. Grandparents had one. Yeah.
People here like
We need to get our hands on one just to show the kids. They would have no clue what this is or how to dial it.
Oh no, they would.
You know,
they put their finger in the circle and they wouldn't.
Yeah, they wouldn't understand how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. We still had 2 of those like old, like wooden box phones that actually still worked.
My mom might still actually have it because she had a hefty antique collection. She might have kept the phone. I forgot. I should ask her if she still has that one. Because yeah, she had a thing for antiques. We had a lot. We had a gramophone too.
Did you?
Yeah. We had, and it was working. And like a couple, like very old records, so it wasn't very interesting to us as kids. Like we played with it here and there, you know, dropping the pin on it and getting it going. But like it was an antique gramophone. She might still have that too. Who knows? But yeah, I find it funny that vinyl has made such a big comeback. Like
it's such pure sound.
It's cool. It takes up so much space. Like the new record players are small, but like vinyl records still they take up a lot of space. Anyway, no one even has to remember numbers now. Oh, I know. I don't even want to admit how long it took me to remember Chris's number. I was like, I just pressed his name on my phone. Because when you would use it as like a passcode for things, you're like, it's my number, and I'm like, and what is that? I don't know. I don't know.
You gotta remember at least one.
You do, because I was like, oh my gosh, if I end up in jail, what am I gonna do? I won't have a and you know, that could happen, you guys. I am definitely chaotic enough that could definitely happen. So memorize your close contacts on the chance you might need them. Okay, do I want to cut this down a bit and have the white border? I kind of do. Anyway, again, you guys, we're all over the place today. Oh yeah, sorry, for those that don't know. Yeah, party line. Back in the day. Back in the ancient times. Like when you used to have to pick up that phone and you'd talk to the operator and tell them who you wanted to talk to, and they would have the switch centers, the switchboard, and a woman would literally be unplugging and plugging the lines in to connect you, and then there'd be a party line, which was just a communal line
shared by like a number of properties.
Yeah, it'd be shared by however many, and people could just pick up the party line and like yell out into the void to whoever and talk and stuff like that. And yeah, you could literally eavesdrop on other people just from your home. You just pick up the receiver and you could hear it on the line. If you were on the line, you could hear somebody, you know, because the receiver would click. And yeah, my mom and her sister would eavesdrop all the time. Don't blame them. What else were you going to do? Anyway. And yes, leaving your phone off the hook.
Yeah.
You know, at night, we used to do that. I remember doing that at night. Or I would do things like when I was a teenager, I would take all the phones and unhook them, except for the one I was using, so that my siblings couldn't eavesdrop on my calls. And my parents would get really angry when they'd go to use the phone and there's no handsets in the house. Because I would unhook them and I'd take them to my room. So anyway. Those are the things you had to do, like siblings.
Have a rogue handset somewhere.
Oh, the amount of times, you know, I had a phone cord that was like 400 feet long, so I could wander around. But then I would unhook all the other phone cords in the house so that I could use the phone. You know, and I would wait till 9 p.m. because that's when you got unlimited long distance. Because long distance charges were expensive. It is. It is. So the second it would, you know, roll over to that time, then I could call my friends because the friends I had were always like way further away. It was always long distance. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. So we got that. We got our circle. Do I want to put it in the center? Not really. I kind of wanted to put it off to the side. We need the sentiment for this, which is going to be, hey, pumpkin. Oh, maybe I'm going to stamp that right on there. instead of die. I was going to die cut it, but maybe I'll stamp it right on there. Yeah, the long distance charges.
What a crock.
They were expensive. I remember every once in a while when I would slip up and make a call too early, or wasn't paying whatever, and then the parents when they get the phone bill and getting ripped an absolute new one.
I know, it was like $2.95.
It was like this call was, a lot. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stamp the sentiment right on here. Love that. So to make that work, we'll just keep it in place and very, very carefully put it in our. There we go. Two. Yeah, long distance costs back in the day were absolutely insane. Like, I remember that. And then when they started modernizing the phone plans, and you could have like X number of long distance minutes each month. Yeah, we remember. Okay, there we go. So now I can stamp my sentiment onto this. Where's that black ink? There he is. Cell phone. Oh yeah, cell phones when they first came on the market, you'd just get a burner phone basically is all they were. Yeah, my first cell phone, I bought it at 7-Eleven.
Really? I had one of those Nokia doohickeys.
Of course you did, but yeah, you could buy them at like 7-Eleven, and then you'd buy a phone card with minutes on it.
Yep.
Like 60 minutes or whatever. I forget how much they were. They weren't cheap. But back then, that's when cell phones were for emergencies only. Like, you didn't use them for funsies. So yeah, that was my first cell phone. My first real phone, like real cell phone, was a...
Was it like an iPhone 4 or something?
No, it was a BlackBerry Flip.
Oh, yeah.
It was pink. Loved it. It was awesome. It was so fun. Okay. The bag phone. Oh yeah. My parents at one point, or my dad at one point, had a satellite phone because of who he worked for at the time. So it was like, and it was massive. It was a big thing with the phone and about all the things, and it was a satellite phone, so you could make calls from anywhere. And I've told Chris about this. I used to sit in the vehicle. My parents would be like at church or whatever, and like I was a teenager, and I would sit in the van with the satellite phone and phone my friends. I never got in trouble for it. The hours I spent on that phone, and it was the business, like the company paid for it. You know?
You can definitely tell that was during some of the good times.
It was during the good times. He was making a lot of money and things were whatever. And yeah, I was just sitting there and I never got in trouble. So somebody paid for it and no one got in trouble. So money was just being burnt apparently. And I look back now and I'm just like, I can't believe I got away with that. Anyway. I was a teenager. I was brainless and that's all you did is you just talked to your friends all the time. That's all you did. Okay. So we got this and this. Of course we're going to do splatter. Do I want to add everything first? Maybe. Do I want to add some twine? Probably. I think I forgot to add twine to my list. Did I?
Twine.
Did I forget twine? I did. Type in twine. There'll be, scroll down. Keep going. Is that those bottom ones, are those orange?
Yeah.
Yep. It's doodle, because it's doodle twine. Yep. Doodlebug, tangerine, doodle twine. Okay. So we're going to want it here. And then you can also add, I was speaking of earlier, Simon reverse tweezers. Because reverse tweezers for the win. I remember pagers and beepers. I never had one. They were like living in a small town like community. I never understood the necessity of them. Like, I remember when Grey's Anatomy became a thing, because I watched ER as a kid here and there, same thing at my grandparents. But I remember when like Grey's Anatomy became, and that first season, a friend of mine had them on DVD and lent them to me, and I watched them. So this was like, yeah, this was 20 years ago. And yeah, the pagers, and I was like, oh, it made sense in that setting why they had them, medical professionals and being called. I mean, it's an emergency, and their pagers are beeping. And I was like, oh, that's what they're for. I was like, I don't get it. Why do you need a pager? So yeah, there we go. There we go. So I start my knot. I use the reverse tweezers. And then you build your little bow. Oop. And then it goes around. Like that. Get in there. I am all thumbs today. There we go. And through. And I just said this, I think, the video I posted yesterday. When you're dealing specifically with baker's twine, I haven't pulled anything tight yet. Because baker's twine is multiple threads that are twisted. And if I pulled it tight and then tried to adjust, it goes, they twist. And they keep twisting. And then that's how your bow ends up looking completely deformed and weird. So I keep everything loose until I'm more like, it's like, okay, this looks about right. Then I'm going to pull it tight. And once I pull them tight, I still got to do a little bit of adjusting. Remove the tweezers and pull them tight a second time. And then if I still have to do a bit of adjusting, which with this one I do, I press it with my thumb so I'm not untying it. And there we go. And I make it look easy because I've tied thousands of these. And we've talked about this. That was my very first, not my first, one of my very first. My first video on YouTube is me using a corner rounder punch to make a scallop. That's my first video. But how to tie a ribbon, like a bow, is one of my early YouTube videos, way back in the olden days. I used to love Beverly Hillbillies. We had them on VHS. Chris and I were just talking about this the other night. Beverly Hillbillies, and here's an old one. Some of you might remember this, was Ma and Pa Kettle. That was around the same time as Beverly Hillbillies. It was a black and white TV show. And we had a bunch of them on VHS because, again, I didn't have television at home for many, many years as a kid because my parents were crazy. But yeah, Beverly Hillbillies and Ma and Pa Kettle. Watched a lot of that because that's all we had. Okay. And then, so we got that. And then this we're going to pop up. Yeah, okay. I know what I'm doing now. I'm getting there after we've been chatting about the most random of things today. Did I clog my glue? I'm not surprised. Yeah, I knew some of you probably would know what Mom Pod. Like, most people don't have a clue. Especially people my age and younger have no idea. It was like, I grew up with some, like, just a lot of old stuff. And again, I was surrounded also by antiques. So many things. So, yeah, Ma and Pa Kettle. And then I loved it. It was a good show. And Beverly Hillbillies. Just good times, Just good times. Oh yeah, Petticoat Junction. Yes, I think we had some of those on VHS as well. I forgot about Petticoat Junction. That was another one. Those shows are old. Yeah. And then yeah, I Love Lucy and Gilligan's Island and I Dream of Jeannie. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. They had Ma and Pa Kettle in New Zealand. Love it. Love it. Yeah, you were able to get them on VHS. And we had almost all of them on VHS. So yeah, I would just watch them over and over again because there was nothing else to watch. Okay, so there's our background. And then Oh, I missed the talk about the Jello shots. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing that I have done. Haven't done it in many years. Actually, I made pudding shots. That was the last time. Oh, those were good. Yeah, I made those with the unpaid intern many, many years ago.
When you first went to
one of his first Christmas parties, I made a absolute, and some of my patron members will know this because I was live streaming while I was doing it, and I was licking the bowl afterwards, and let's just say I consumed quite a bit of alcohol that day. Great times. But yeah, after that Christmas party and the amount of pudding shots I consumed, I haven't had them since. It was enough. It was enough. Okay. Now, doodly doo. There we go. So we've got our. So I'm gonna put some Big Mama foam tape. Oh, what I need to do to make my life easier is you take this and then gonna line up that like that. So this is how this is gonna go. I'm gonna cut this part off. I'm gonna flip that over. Like that. Yeah, a lot of the shows you guys are mentioning, I'm aware of them, but I didn't watch them. Because again, I didn't have television. So I didn't see most of those shows. Like Little House on the Prairie, I didn't see the show. I read all the books. I used to read those a lot. And same with like Anna Green Gables. Although Anna Green Gables, when I was at my grandma's, there was that, because there was Anna Green Gables show. I remember that.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, I remember that one. But I only saw it at my grandma's, but I read all the books. In fact, I went to the Maritimes when I was a teenager with my aunt and uncle, and we went to Prince Edward Island. And like we saw Anna Green Gables. They did it was like a Broadway show. It was a play.
Oh.
In Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
So I got to see that. It was so fun. It was so fun. It was like opening night. So we got to see that and do the whole like Anna Green Gables experience and everything, and I loved it. It was a good time. Okay, so I've got that. I'm gonna avoid the bottom. We're gonna put Big Mama foam tape on the back of this, and I had made the pencil mark, so I'm not putting foam tape past it, so I can just slice through this, and I don't have to deal with the foam tape. So we're gonna burp. Here we go. That one, like that. And then I'm not putting any Big Mama foam tape on the bottom because the baker's twine is there. So this will just make things just sit a little bit better. Grandparents had TV, parents didn't. Oh, yeah. Without going into it, because again, we're not going there. A big chunk of my childhood, my parents were involved in, the easiest way to say it now is like a religious cult. So TV was of the devil. And so we didn't have it at all. And that's why. So, and then also because my parents were of that generation, they left us at the grandparents a lot. So that's at my grandparents a lot. And both sets of grandparents had televisions. And I was also a night owl. So when it got to the point sometimes where there would be shows on, but even then, I don't think it always mattered. It would always shut off at midnight, basically, any channel. But yeah, everyone would be off doing their thing, and I'd be in the basement. My one grandma's had it in the basement. The other one had it like in the open area, so didn't get to watch it very often. But the one grandma, she had a nice house with a basement. She had more than one TV. It was like we were living fancy. And yeah, I'd hang out in the basement and I could watch. That's where I would watch. I'd Dream of Jeannie and I Love Lucy and Gilligan's Island. And then if nothing else was on, I'd sit and watch soap operas. ER. That's where I got to watch ER. Fascinating. It fascinated me. Although I'll forever be traumatized over the episode where they got a cockroach in their ear. That one to this day still traumatizes me. You guys don't need to be sorry. Trust me. I have done enough deconstructing and therapy, like all the things. It is a very long story and it's a huge just thing, you know? And I can laugh about it. I can joke about it. It's why I've got so much dark humor, y'all. And it is what it is. Okay. So now we're going to line up this again. Just kind of offset it like that. Yes. Boop. Like that. And then I want to hear more about it. You have to tell us more about it one day if it's not trust me. It's not necessarily traumatizing per se. Some of it is. It's one of those things that as I got older and when I would talk about it, because your own experience, your own lived experience, your own upbringing, whatever you as yourself, you don't really think about it like this isn't right or this isn't normal or whatever it is. And it wasn't until I got well into my adulthood and I'd be recounting a story to someone and just the look on their face was what would stop me because they would just be like, that's not normal. That's or in some cases they're like, that wasn't okay. And I was like, yeah, it was what it was. But yeah, trust me, so many stories. So many stories. And it was not a good thing at all. It was very, very chaotic. And yeah. Anyway. Oh, the stamp set is everything's listed and linked. This one is the pumpkin spice vibes is my main. These little guys. And then the other, like the background, this fabulous pumpkin background is the pumpkin to talk about. I love the name of this one. Stamp. Love it. Love it so much. It's so cute. Okay. So we got that. Do I want to maybe put one of them? Oh, I think I do. We'll keep one for the outside and put one on the inside. See, this was just meant to be perfect. Yeah, one of these can go on the inside. Oh yeah, exactly, Leah. You do not think of it as not normal because that was your normal. Yeah. It wasn't until much, much later in life that I fully started to understand just how messed up, how wrong, and then at times how abusive my upbringing was. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna glue one to the inside. And Yep. Everyone's got something. And no, you guys, I don't mind. Trust me. If I didn't want to talk about it, or anything I don't want to talk about, I just don't. I'm an open book. I really am. It's more just like time and place, And sometimes it's like not the time and place to start getting into some of the severe chaos. Okay, do I want to pop these guys up a little bit too? I think I do. Where's the big mama foam tape? There it is. Okay, and yeah, pumpkin spice vibes for the win, always. So we will pop some big mama foam tape on the back of these guys. There we go. There we go. Yep. So, peel off the backing. And for those that might not be familiar with Big Mama foam tape, it would mean you're new here, which if you're new here, if you haven't already figured out, well, literally welcome to the chaos. But Big Mama foam tape, they call it Big Mama because the roll is enormous. The actual tape itself, like the foam, is very thin. See? In fact, I can show, where's the standard thickness of foam tape? Here we go. This is that is your standard foam tape. This would be 1/16 of an inch. And then Simon's Big Mama foam tape, it's kind of hard to show on camera, is half that. It's 1/32 of an inch. And Karen, oh, they knew. Trust me, they knew. That's where we can get into some of the chaos. Trust me, they knew. Some of it, yeah. There was a lot of drama and a lot of chaos. Because when I say cult, it was a cult. It was a cult. It was. I didn't know that until, again, well into my adulthood, and then like figuring things out, and I was like, oh, this wasn't just like it was a cult. It was a cult. It was extremely controlling. It was utterly insane, and yeah, it caused a lot of grief, a lot of drama, and it has created like generational trauma for many people. So, not good. And I think deep down, looking back now, my grandmothers, both of them, were both amazing people. And I think that's also why they took us in so often, because that gave us some normalcy. Because my grandmas were awesome, both of them. They were amazing people. Anyway, I'm just going to adhere this, because if I keep talking about my grandmas, I just. The epitome of kindness and literally kindness. Both of my grandmas, but one especially, both of them in their own ways. Like, some of my best memories as a kid were because of my grandmas. Times I spent with them. All of it, you know? And I miss them so much. I just, yeah, I miss them both so much. My one grandma passed many years ago now, almost 20 years ago now. And then my other grandma passed just a few years ago. And it was really hard. It still is. Because, yeah. Anyway, apologies. I warned you all. I think it was last week's live. I was like, oh, I'm about due for like a crying jag. So, happens. Anyway, let's keep. Oh, now my nose is running. Wonderful. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah. They were. Yeah. And it's funny, they were both very different personalities too. My one grandma was literally just like the most genuine, kind person. And I've mentioned her before. Like, she was the type that, as we got older, like my siblings and my cousins and stuff, she was always the type that when people would start like roughhousing, or if like people are telling stories and things are getting chaotic, and like if someone started swearing, which was usually me, she was the type that literally, like, she would just have sudden deafness. Like, she would just go to her happy place and just be deaf and completely ignore all the chaos going on around her. And I remember noticing that as a teenager, and I always found it so hilarious that she would just like, she was like, nope, and she would just tune out, and she wouldn't say anything. She would just sit there until the chaos passed, and then all of a sudden she could hear again. It was so funny. So yeah. And then, yeah, my other grandma, yeah. Yeah. If I keep going, I will just like start sobbing. So, not going there. But wonderful people. So yeah. And yeah. I always looked forward to going there. My other grandma I would travel with. We didn't do like major travel, but every once in a while, like a couple times, we would go like on a road trip, things like that. And yeah. Yeah. Again, I didn't realize until I was like an adult, like how much time I actually spent with my grandmas. So yeah, because my grandpa passed, I didn't really spend much time other than the one that passed was the one that I would watch like TV with, but we didn't interact. He didn't like kids. My grandpa didn't. But he passed when I was little, and then my other grandpa was technically actually my step grandpa. I didn't even know that till I was older, that my biological grandfather had died when I was like 2. And he was a decent dude. I would play checkers with him. He taught me how to play checkers. So when he was still alive, when I was a kid, I'd play, and and he was vicious, not as a person, but playing checkers. He would never let you win, ever. Like didn't matter if you were a kid. It's like you had to learn. And once as a kid, I trounced him and I beat him at checkers. And I was like on cloud 9, and he was so happy for me and he never let it happen again. But yeah, and I knew because I beat him fair and square. Like, and it wasn't easy because he was really good at it. So anyway. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we got that. We got to add some splatter. We do have to add some splatter. Okay, let's get into some more fun stuff so that Amy's not blubbering and crying here on a live. So, it kind of was checkers boot camp. It really was. Like, we had to play it proper. You played by the rules, and he would not allow you to win. And then with my grandma, I would play Scrabble. We'd play Scrabble, Uno, and oh shit. Because that was a card game.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't call it that because she would not say that word. So I forget what she would call it. It was one of her favorite card games, and she wouldn't call it that. I remember that because she never would say a bad word. My other grandma would, swear, when the time came for. But that grandma, we'd play Uno, Skip-Bo. She loved Skip-Bo. Skip-Bo, Uno, Scrabble, and oh shit. But she would call it something else because you couldn't say that word. That word was inappropriate. Oh my goodness. And yes, Monopoly. We would play that. Not with my grandma though. With my grandma, with my one grandma, we'd play Scrabble a lot. Her and I, we loved to play Scrabble. We would sit, and especially if my siblings were there, they would be asleep, and her and I would stay up and we'd play Scrabble. Loved it. And then Skip-Bo. Skip-Bo was another one of her absolute favorites. In fact, I don't think I've played Skip-Bo since I played with her 30 years ago. It's been a lot of years. Okay. We got splatter. There was something I was going to do. Okay. I had a plan. Let's brain mellow out. Figured it. Oh darn. I think maybe she called it oh darn. I honestly can't remember, but that's probably what she called it. Because yeah, she was a type, not only would she never swore. Ever. She only raised her voice maybe like twice, and I remember the times when that she would so much as raise her voice, like everyone would go silent because she was just that type of person. And yeah, so she never swore, almost never raised her voice, and then she would just go deaf when the conversation was just inappropriate. It was so funny. Yeah, there's so many card games. I haven't played many. Like, I don't know. We haven't even played a board game in forever. It has been a long time. I don't like playing board games with the unpaid intern. He's too competitive. He's not fun. Like, I was like, you should let me, you're supposed to let me win,
I don't care.
And he doesn't care. He's like my grandpa used to be. He's just like, this is the like,
I just want everybody else to have a miserable
Yeah,
experience.
he's the worst. So we don't play board games anymore because I'm just like, this isn't fun. Yes, that I would watch that with my grandma. Wheel of Fortune and The Price is Right. Yep, those are two other shows that, yes, yeah, those would be on kind of in the evenings, right after supper usually. I think would be Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, it was like 5:30, and then
Yeah, Price of Right was during the day because those are when you had to stay at home sick, and you'd get Lipton soup and some ginger ale and watch The Price is Right, and oh, it was so good. Loved it. Loved The Price is Right. Okay, I'm taking the stamp. I've shown this before. We're like, again, so off base. From the sentiment, and again, I didn't come up with this. Another maker did, and I don't remember who or when. I saw this years ago. But you make sure the stamp is clean. That's why I'm rubbing my fingers on it. And then I use the stamp as a mask so that when I add splatter, I'm not getting splatter on the sentiment. You know? Chris is a board game warrior. He's not even a warrior with it. He's just...
I'm a rules fiend.
He's awful. He is. Like, if he once he gets to the point where he realizes there's no way he can win, he will then make it his mission to ruin it for everyone. It's like if he's not having a good time, we're all on this road to hell.
It's a good time. It's more like if I can't win, I can win by making everyone else quit.
That's basically what he does. He'll just make everyone quit. It's the worst. It's the worst. So I was just like, even because like that's what we did when we were dating. We would play board games, and I'm just like, you're not any fun anymore. Like, you're supposed to be impressing me and letting me win, you know? And he was just like, what do you mean? Like, where's the fun in that sort of a thing? So, yeah.
I let you win by being with me.
I was winning because I got to, like, participate in, like, got to be around your wonderful personality. You're such a butthead. Okay. Simon's Positive Perfect White Splatter. We'll add a bit of white splatter, and then we're going to add some orange splatter. Yeah. No, I don't play much. I literally haven't played board games in years. One, because he's a bum. But my thing is, I don't have time. We've got a few that the kids will play, and he'll play with the kids. And sometimes when other people come over, we've got those few. Like, I do love...
We play
Settlers of Catan. That one I really like. That game is fun. It takes a bit to get, like, to know how to play it. But that one I really like because it's different every single time you play. I really like Settlers of Catan.
Just get a Monopoly on Stone and you can ruin that one too.
Yeah, Monopoly is its own just beast. We used to play Monopoly all the time. I remember having a marathon Monopoly session and I won. It was me and it was like holidays. Me, my cousins, my uncles, everything. And I won because I think I must have got my hands on Boardwalk and what was the other one that went with Boardwalk? Anyway, you know, I had all my hotels set up and I hosed everyone. I won. And it was like a 7-hour game. It was crazy. Crazy. Anyway. Okay. We added the white. And then, yeah, Settlers is good. It's Settlers of Catan. And there's the base game. And then there's add-ons that you can get for it. It's really fun. It really is.
There's lots of different ways you can win.
Yeah, and it's different every time because the board itself is actually just a bunch of tiles that you put together. And so it's literally different every single time you play it because you set up the board differently every time. And it's fun. It's a good game. I really enjoy it because every time Park Place. That's what it was. Thank you. Boardwalk and Park Place. But then I also used to have a strategy and I forget. I think it was just, as long as I owned like a row, you know, on Boardwalk, I would make it my mission to own an entire row or like a corner so that the chances were very slim that anyone could get past it. And then I would just hose them all. So good times. Okay. I smushed some mandarin, which is very, very bright orange. And I'm going to mix it with this white splatter. So it's going to lighten it up a fair bit. But that's going to give us some orange splatter. Vanna White. You met her? Oh, jealous. That was a thing I loved. Even before I fully understood it as a kid, when I watched it, is like she wore a different dress every time. And they were always very nice dresses, you know? I loved it. Ties into what I was saying earlier about fashion, everything else. Loved that. I used to love seeing like what she was wearing that day. And so, you know, because every once in a while it was just like amazing, amazing outfits. So I always thought that was like such a cool job. You know, you get to walk out in these beautiful dresses and then turn the things and oh, and Jeopardy. Watch that with my grandparents too, you know? Gotta love some Jeopardy. So yeah. There we go. So add a bit of orange. This ends up being a little bit more pastel. I could add more ink, but I'm okay with this. I'm fine with this. It just gives it a little extra something. Doop, doop, doop. Yep. No. Yep. Yep. Okay. If you still like playing card games, there's a fun one called Zombie Kittens. I think I have that.
We have Exploding Kittens.
Is it Exploding Kittens that I have? But it's in the closet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids don't watch our lives. I have them. It's a Christmas present. We have that one. Do you mean, is there a Zombie Kittens one?
There might be.
You never know. There's so many options nowadays. Like, there's a lot. We've got a few other games that I don't have. I couldn't even name them. Chris has them. He's got a decent amount of board games that it's been a long time when you get together with your friends.
Yeah.
And they play them. They put up with him being...
I'm not the worst in my group, though.
Actually, yeah, I can believe that. I could see that your entire crew, all of you, would be like that. Just whoever's not winning, making it miserable for everybody else.
In those type of games, I try to go for the nobody wins at the beginning instead of at the end.
You guys are funny. Okay, so we added our splatter, and then I'll carefully remove it. See, it has a bunch of splotches. There we go. No, I definitely didn't watch any soap operas with my mother. Again, we didn't have television at home, and soap operas would have been considered of the devil. And neither of my grandmothers watched soap operas, like, ever. When I was there, they were never, like, seated for them. I would just watch them because when I would come inside, because I would be outside, like, off playing till it was dark, sort of a thing. But when I was at their places, quite often, I would come home, leave everybody else out playing outside, and I would come in, go downstairs, and watch television. And during the day, a lot of times it would be soap operas, which I never could fully understand. I was kind of fascinated, but it was like, And then Coronation Street always stuck with me because it fascinated me. I loved it. So yeah. Nothing like playing Cards Against Humanity with your parents, in-laws, and a grandparent. Oh, I believe it. I've never played Cards Against Humanity. I know. Someday. I don't know. I work all the time. It is what it is. Okay. So yeah. The stamp masked the sentiment, so I didn't get splatter on top of the sentiment, which is super nice. For such a simple card, this is a very long live because, talking about so much randomness, and then I had to have a meltdown, but it's all good. We're going to add a little bit of bling. I'm going to carefully add some bling because all of the splatter is still wet. So you know what? I'll just give it a light blast with my heat tool. Oh yeah, Ticket to Ride. I've played that once. It takes a long time to explain that game. And then it takes hours to play. I remember enjoying it. It was like 15 years ago that I played that. Like when it was new. I remember playing it. Yeah. And then there's one called it was like Rabid Rabbits Take Over the Universe, or it's got some bizarre name. It's a board game. You can look it up. I've played that, and that's another one too. It takes like literally an hour or 2 hours just to explain the game. and then it takes hours to play. It's fun, but it's another one of those ones where it's like, yeah, yeah. It's a I forget what it was called. It's some bizarre game. Anyway. Oh, zombie kittens are a branch off of exploding kittens. Oh, we'll have to look into that. Uno is a good game. You know, it was always, the satisfaction of slamming down a +4 on someone. And the same thing with Monopoly, the house rules. Because especially nowadays that like all the games have like social media accounts and they're like, I've seen like Uno's done it and Monopoly's done it. Like, this was not an actual rule of, this isn't an actual rule. And it's like, okay, but it wasn't my house, so whatever.
If you play Monopoly without any house rules, it is the most miserable.
Oh yeah, Monopoly's an awful game. That's the point though. Monopoly originally was invented to like prove the point of how awful capitalism is. Anyway, with Uno, because it was like +2, +2, +2, you stack those, so the next person has to take 6. That's how it.
Have a +2 as well.
Yep, and then it keeps going until it ends up, and you just destroy someone. Best times, love it, love it. Oh, and then the moon cat nail. I do. I haven't painted my nails, and it's now been a year. I stopped painting them last year only because I was too busy, and then and I bought more Mooncat makes beautiful nail polish. I have it all. I keep meaning to. I was gonna, and then I broke. Like, I split both my thumbnails. I kind of make a joke about that sometimes. I was like, I was doing work, like housework. Ew. And I literally was. And I broke, like, right into the, like, painfully. And then I did that again with this one. So I cut them all down and I'll deal with it. I'll paint my nails again. I miss it. It's fun. I like having sparkly, pretty nails. Oh yeah, and Boggle. Yeah, Boggle is a good one. I haven't played Boggle in years. You guys are, yeah.
What about Don't Break the Ice?
Oh yeah, and Don't Break the Ice. And Operation.
Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Hungry Hungry Hippos. All those games, Yeah, okay. I got some bling. Got a bit of bling, so that we can add a bit of bling. And then while we do that, while I add the bling, he can pick a winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
How would I use a clean tissue, one that I haven't cried into, Yes, Mooncat is a nail polish brand, and they're just, if you like sparklies, they make beautiful nail polish. I'm just gonna, it's gonna make for a little weird. I'll probably fix that in editing. It was just a big blob. Yeah, painting nails. I will get back to it. I miss having my nails all pretty and stuff. It's a time thing, and something I don't seem to have much of, it seems. I always seem to have less and less of it, actually. So we'll add a bit of orange bling to give it that little extra something. Sheila, they ship it to Canada. Mooncat does. I haven't ordered from them in, goodness, it might have been like, I don't even know if I've ordered any from them this year at all. I think it might have been last year was the last time I ordered from them. But yeah, they usually ship out really quick, but I have no idea. It might be even like expensive. The prices were decent with their stuff. Okay, let's add a couple more just because I can. Just because I want 2, 3, 4. Let's add one more. Let's add just one more. Yeah. 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 Okay. There we go. Oh, Sequence. I remember Sequence. I used to play that a lot. Yeah, I remember that one. I used to play Sequence a lot. Yeah. Once you know how to play it, it's fun. Yeah. And it's not too hard to figure out. Um, Operations a reason I have anxiety. Heard. Yeah. Before I knew the like what anxiety was. Looking back now, because I do, I have pretty severe anxiety. But yeah, as a kid, like playing that game, I was so stressed out. It was anxiety. I hated that buzzer. Okay, where's my embellishment wand? See, that grew legs and walk away. I need 10 more. Where? There he is. He was hiding. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. And then I need glue. Glue would help. Glue helps glue down the embellishments. Follow me for more life-changing tips. And meltdowns. It is what it is. Okay. Pick them up with my little embellishment wand. Put down a little, oop, that was a bit more of a blob of glue. Let's just scrape a little bit of that off. There we go. Okay. There we go. Yeah, much better. So, you just need a tiny bit for the little guys. Dabble do ya. I just got to be careful because, again, some of the splatter is still wet. Normally, let it all fully dry before you start mucking around with it. So add our bits of bling. Like so. Yes. And amongst all the chaos and crying and so many good conversations, we went all over the place and then some today. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There, and there we go. Okay. There's our little pumpkin spice latte card. Let me just be a little there. Make the bow look proper. With a bit of alcohol marker coloring, a little bit of die cutting, nothing too crazy. 2 types of splatter though, because you know. And then the inside with a little sentiment. I'm glad I did the second pumpkin. That just kind of works. It just kind of works, you know? So this was fun. It was fun. Again, I'm not I wasn't kidding when I said I was an emotional glue bag. Let's switch to, there we go. There we go. And I managed not to get mascara all over myself when I had my little meltdown. So, winning. Winning. Okay. Speaking of winning.
The winner today is Mari in South Dakota.
Mari in South Dakota. So, like I was saying at the very beginning, I do plan on mailing all the live stream winners because I've got the last like month. 1, 2, 3. I think there's 4 cards sitting there. So, more than 4 weeks worth. I do plan on doing it this week. As always, I make no promises because even though I am leaving my house this week because I have to, we've got a couple appointments we got to deal with. It is Stamptember's coming. Stamptember's coming. Got so many things I need to do. So, but yay, we will. We'll be figuring things out. We'll be figuring things out as always. I'm always flying by the seat of my pants. That's just life. And oh yeah, it is. It is waterproof. When I do wear mascara, which is rare, more often than not, I just don't care. Mine is like I get it as black as it can be, and as waterproof as it can be, because I have super oily skin, and it just it ends up everywhere. No matter what I do. Like, it's also why I just don't really wear makeup much at all anymore. And I'm also really bad, regardless, even if it's not necessarily a meltdown. Sometimes I'm all over the place and not paying attention, and then I'm just, it's a long day and you go to like kind of rub your eyes and I'll be like, wait. And then it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So yay. Yay, Mari. Yeah, hopefully I will get everyone's cards mailed out this week. That is the hope. I'm putting all my...
Before Stamptember starts.
Yeah, before Stamptember starts.
Otherwise, I'll be mailing your cards.
There's gonna be a lot. There's a lot of exciting things. There are...
I'll stick my hand out.
Oh yeah, thank you for the disembodied hand.
Very blurry disembodied hand.
Yeah, it's very well, no, because the way that I have the camera set up, so the background is blurry. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of content. I always have a lot of content this time of year, regardless. I'm always posting a ton of videos. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of content from so many people, and a lot of content also that isn't Stamptember related, because other brands have their releases, all the things. There's a lot of just really good stuff. There's so many good things. It's exciting. It gets a little overwhelming at times when I'm doing this as a job, and it's like I'm not kidding when I always kind of say, like, I need more hours in the day. I really do. I need more hours in the day. We still go live during Stamptember Sundays. I think I did last year, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I managed to do all my Sunday lives. I think so. I'm still planning on it. But again, we'll see. I'll give everyone a heads up if, whatever chaos, because there's always chaos. But I still plan on it to do my Sunday lives. Like next Sunday. Next Sunday's the very end of this month. And then Stamptember officially starts that night, because we are 2 hours ahead of Eastern time. So for me, Stamptember starts next Sunday evening at 10 p.m. That's what I was kind of talking with Chris about at the very beginning of this live. Because last year we went live when the release went live, and I did like a kind of just a release and review, because the Simon Says Stamp product line release, like for Stamptember of their brand, is released on the 1st. Those products are just part of their main line, so they get restocked. They're not limited edition, no worries, it's all good. And it's a big release. I do have it here. It's really good, so let's see. I haven't decided yet if we'll go live like we did last year. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. We'll see. Time is catching up with me always. Things are chaos. Things are chaos. So I'll let you guys know. Like, if everyone wants me to, I might. I still plan on going live my normal time, because on Sundays we go live at 2 p.m. Central. So we'll see. Because I was like, we could do a card, have some fun, and then that evening possibly do a live. We'll just see. It might just be a fun time of chaos and looking at new stuff, and I might make something. I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll just see. I think it'll be good. And I have many videos coming this week. I'm hoping to do a bonus live this week. I was going to do it this past week, but like I said, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and I was like glued to my computer dealing with so many things. So it just didn't happen. So that is my plan, but I'll let everyone know, as always. And yeah, there's going to be all kinds of fun things. Will there be Halloween products? There's usually Halloween products in the Stamptember release. Oh, I can't say anything. I'm not allowed to say anything. And yeah, it'll be good. It will be good. There's always, like I said, like when it comes to Simon Says Stamp and Heidi, the owner of Simon Says Stamp, the energy and just it is a month-long party. Like, and I don't know what all, because she loves to surprise people. Like, there's the big release, and then there's the limited edition collabs, and those are sprinkled throughout the month. Not every single day, but and then sometimes there's multiples on a day, you know? And then in past years, there's been, like, limited edition, like, kits, like, big ones, like, big kits that are pretty awesome. There's those and surprises and so many things. There's a lot. It's just a lot of fun. Um, do, do, do. Doodly doo. Yeah, it'll be fun. Oh, this is gonna be your first Stamptember, Michelle. You're in for a fun time. It's fun. It's crazy in a very good way. It really is. And yeah, I do a lot of videos, a lot. Like as it is, I do a lot of videos. Just this is my job. But for Stamptember, I do extra, a lot of extra videos. It's my Christmas budget, so all the extra work I put in, it's justified. So yeah, and then all the other makers, because there's so many people like on the Simon Says Stamp design team, and then just a whole lot of other people get involved. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah. Oh yeah, her excitement is extremely contagious. And yes, September is Heidi's birthday month. Her birthday is the 3rd of September, I think. I might be wrong. I think her birthday is September 3rd. I'm so bad. I usually have everything written down in my planner, and I haven't written that. I haven't paid attention. Um, yeah. Um, is there something new each day? Yes. There's something. It's not always a collab or like a limited edition thing, but there is something each day throughout the entire month. And it depends. It depends. So yeah, I'm not allowed to, you know. Um, but yeah, they're fun. There's tons and tons of inspiration and then all kinds of surprises. And I can't, and I'm not trying to be vague on purpose. Cause I literally don't know. So I don't want to say like, well, it's always this, cause they can do whatever they want. Um, so yeah, we'll just see. We'll see. Um, do. Yes, the limited edition collabs are the only thing, and that's kind of a big part of Stamptember, obviously, but that is the only thing with those that when they sell out, they're gone. They will not be restocked. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's how it works. They are one and done. And it varies. I'm very glad that is not my job to try and determine like how many to get in of these things. Like this is months, a year of planning and collaborating and all the things like behind the scenes, like the amount of people involved and all the work that goes into it. Crazy. It's insane. It's insane. It really is. And I'm just glad that that's not my responsibility because I would have no idea. Because it depends. It's always funny because some of the sets I'll personally I'll be like, oh, that's really not my style, and it ends up being either my favorite to work with or just something random, or it appeals to everyone and it sells out in no time. And then other times, some sets will stay in stock for days, sometimes even like till the end of the month. It just depends. So yeah, it always varies. I don't know that one. Then that one, share. I don't know. Will they have free or discounted shipping this year for Stamptember? I don't know. That one we will find out probably like if it happens. Things like that never get announced ahead of time. Um so yeah, it did happen. It was last year and the year before. Yeah. It happened the last 2 years. It had never happened before. And then I think it was a couple years ago she did it and then she did it last year. I don't know. I honestly don't because also the cost of shipping things. I'm so glad. This is why I don't have this is why I don't run an online business. This is why I do what I do. This is why I make things and do my job this way because I don't want to deal with any of that. I don't want to own a store. I don't want to deal with shipping. It's not my thing. Um So yeah, we will see what happens. I will be doing, my plan still is, um, I'm just trying to like, brain is just like, my plan is to do a ton of videos, a ton, as many as possible. It's a lot. That said, I generally don't end up doing one for every single like collab, etc. Just so many, either I don't have them or things happen. And like I said at the beginning, I literally don't have them yet. They haven't shown up, so I don't know what's going to happen. But I do post on my YouTube channel, because if you go to my like actual YouTube channel, not just like this video, but if you go to my channel, for those that might not be aware, and you're on the Prairie Paper and Ink channel, burp, along the kind of right under my banner, it'll say things like videos, live, playlists. Like there's tabs you can click on, and one of them says posts. And if you click on that, it's just posts that I do. I only put up like, I post on Sundays, like heads up, I'm going live. I put that one up on Sundays. I'll post when there's like sales, things like that, like little bits. Throughout Stamptember, I post every single day what's going on. If it's a collab, I'll post about it, the link, like the options, and I also throughout the month edit that to whatever's like still available. So it's like, this is the new one. Here's what's still available. Da, da, da. So like I just do that just to kind of make things consolidated. And then if I've got a video for it, I'm like, video here, link, because it's just one, I'm OCD, so I like to like curate all this kind of stuff, and it's a lot of content. It's a lot. So that is one way, and I do that on my YouTube posts, and I also do that on my Facebook page, and I kind of do it on my Instagram, but not as much. Those two places is where I post it consistently to keep things to give as much information, I guess, so people kind of know what's going on. Yeah, we'll see how all the things go. Allison, I know, that one, okay. That one's been mentioned, not just by you. It's been over the years. I'll read it for those that didn't see it. I wish Simon Says Stamp would hold all our orders and ship them at the end of the month with one shipping fee. I will be shocked if they're ever able to do that. And that's my personal opinion, because I don't speak for them. I work with them. I am not a spokesperson. But I would be shocked if they're ever able to do that. I know they've discussed it and tried to talk about the logistics, but I honestly just can't. You would need to have so much space to make that work, because to kind of explain it, like Simon Says Stamp is still technically a small company, but they're not tiny. Like they're not your little mom and pop craft store. Like they carry a lot of products, and they've got a whole warehouse and employees, and you've got the software that you put in your order, and it goes through this software, and then it gets picked in the warehouse, and da 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 da. So, and they are they've got employees that are picking and shipping these orders like do daily, every day, like to do something like holding orders for a month like this, you would need like an entire warehouse of just empty space and then to organize it all. Like I understand like smaller, you're like local-ish or just small scrapbook shops, because I know that they offer that option. It's like, oh, add things throughout the month. You can add it to your online order and they'll hold it till you hit the free shipping, those sorts of things. I totally get it. I just specifically with Simon Says Stamp and any like bigger places like that, I logistically, does that mean that it'll never happen? Who knows? I hope that they figure out a way to make it work, because that would be really sweet. I would take advantage of that too. Totally. I don't know. Yeah, like you'd need staff, you would need software. You like it would be nuts. It would be nuts. And just the literal storage space to do that, you know? And then like you would need a whole other, because again, like behind this is why I don't want to run a store, you guys. This is why I don't want to do it, because I know what goes into it, and it's insane. It's insane, and I'm just like nope. Because like the software to do, um, have your online store, and then there's software for ordering, like on the back end, like in the warehouse, like, and then where the software to keep everything tracked, how many you have in stock, blah, 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 like all of that, like that alone it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts. So then to do that, that would add like double or triple the amount of work involved and space. The biggest one thing is space. So yeah, that's why I personally think that it's never going to happen, but never say never in a sense, because you never know. You couldn't pay me to do that kind of stuff. It's really cool. They've shown a few things over the years. It's been a lot of years, but they have shown a few times here and there. And they did show, yeah, when they did, I saw that mention about the Huntington's. Once a year, Simon Says Stamp does a big fundraiser um, for Huntington's research, because it is something that is very near and dear to the owner's life. And she's actually on the board of that charity and society in Ohio. And Reed, this year, they did a video. You can find it. It's on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel. But at one point, Reed is down in the warehouse where they're like packing those boxes and stuff. And that gives you a tiny glimpse. And that's just that. And like that's completely separate from the actual, like, how the whole shipping. Some of the other brands over the years and other stores have shown some of the behind the scenes. It's a lot. It's a lot. A lot of people don't realize how much goes into just you place your order, and then how it like comes through the chute, in a sense, the software, and then someone's got to go and find all those products and pick them, and then they've got to package it and label it, and like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's fascinating. Um, and no, they couldn't leave everything in the bins. That one 100%. You can't. Like running a store, you could not. If things are ordered, if you've got 20 items and 10 of those were ordered, pre-orders, like to be held, you cannot leave it sitting there. That is a logistical nightmare. Those would need to be pulled and set aside for each. That's why you would need space. You can't just let it all sit, because if anything were to go wrong, like think of like a power outage or the software went down or something bizarre and you had a glitch, and yeah. So you couldn't. You literally would need to physically pick still every single order, and then they would need to physically sit until the end of the month, and then add to it, and then find each one. So they would have to be organized alphabetically. Yep. So, yeah. Maybe they could do a box with all the collab stamp sets, and I'm sure there's a few people out there that would want to order all of them, but that's a lot. I don't know how many, I never really count every year, but some years there have been like 30, and they vary in size and stuff too, because some are small, like the 4x6 type sets, and some are the large stamp sets, like the 6x9. Some have coordinating dies, stencil, like there's a lot of options. So I'll get to that American Crafts one in a second. So yeah, I don't say all of that to just be like, boo, no, it's never gonna happen, boo. It's not like that. I'm just there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, with business and ordering and the structure and all the things. They do 1 or 2 days. Usually it's 1 a day. In past years with the limited edition collabs, it would be like sometimes 1 a day. Sometimes it wouldn't be a limited. Sometimes it'd be a kit. Sometimes it'd be something else. but sometimes, because again, I have to talk in generalities because some things I am not allowed to say, and then some things I don't know. We're good? Um, in the past, a lot of times during the week, it would sometimes be like one limited edition a day. And then on the weekends, it would be multiple. So it was like Super Saturday and like a couple on Sunday, like so it just depends, you know? Um, we'll see. We will see. And then I saw that question about American Crafts. Yeah, I don't exactly know what happened there. I heard, I saw and heard a few things here and there that, yeah, basically American Crafts got bought out by some conglomerate. I don't even know. I honestly don't know exactly the like nitty gritty. Um, I don't know what's going to happen with that. I know that a lot of the people that had product lines within that umbrella have gone elsewhere. So that kind of spoke volumes to me. So yeah, and it right and now, because when it first was kind of happening, I was like, what is going? Like, what is happening? I'm in my garage. I don't hear a lot of things, but I was just like, because I don't do a lot of scrapbooking, you know, so I'm not part of those circles. But I did see a lot of them have migrated to doing their product lines with other companies. Some have kind of split between, like Vicky Boutin is doing her thing with a different manufacturer. I'm not exactly sure. And then like there's Paige Evans and 49 and Market, I think, was also technically originally. Again, I'm speaking from what I'm like. Don't take any of this as like accurate because I'm not sure. I noticed like that some of them have shifted to other manufacturers to keep doing their products and their offerings and things. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure what exactly is going on with all of that, but it does look like several of the like individual designers that had their own lines under that are finding other ones to work with, like other brands that will make things for them. And I think that's really cool. Um do 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 and yes, nerdy girl. I'm sure folding orders like that was viable at all, or it would already be happening. Yes. Like if it was an actual feasible thing, they would already be doing it. 100%. But again, they're not a tiny, tiny company. They're not like a conglomerate. It's like Simon Says Stamp is still like they're a good sized company. Um, but yeah, it's just a logistical nightmare. It really is. Like I I've observed a lot over the years. I'm a freelancer. I'm an independent designer. I work with them, you know, and I like knowing things. I like the business side of things. I like knowing it, and but I don't want to do it. I don't want to open my own business. I don't want to run my own online store. That's not where I have no passion for that. But it's always fascinating how others do it, and they run a good ship. And I know the employees are treated well. I've interacted with many of them over all these years. It's been over a decade. In fact, I'm pretty sure Simon Says Stamp was the first online craft purchase I ever made. And that was, goodness, they've been in business for almost 20 years, around there. Stamptember has been a thing for over a decade now. It's been a lot of years. But yeah. Mhm. Vicky had a release with Spellbinders, I think she did. Did she? There's a lot of people that do like little capsule releases with Spellbinders. There's some good ones. They're all good. They're all good. They're all good. So many good things. I like Vicky Boutin a lot. She doesn't know who I am from Hole in the Wall, but every once in a while, because Vicky goes live Friday evenings usually, and every once in a while when I'm in here working, I'll have her on because I like her style. She's scrapbooking is her thing for the most part. You know, that's what she does, and it's always interesting. Even though I don't scrapbook, I have no interest in scrapbooking. I probably will never. It's just not my thing. It's always fun sometimes to watch other makers and see what they do, and it's like how they're combining products and like using paint and ink and techniques and paper and all the things, and it's just like, you know, um Doo-doo-doo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I am a business in a sense. Like, again, I do this as a job. I am a freelance creative. I'm a content creator. You know, I make and I share, and that's how I run my business. I don't want to do an online store. No, thank you. I don't want to sell actual physical product. I get asked that a lot. People that have no clue, or if they're bots or trolls, and it's just like, what's your online store? And I'm like, no, not my thing. Um, I've worked in warehouses and have seen the crazy sales. They're gonna be in process. Oh yeah, like it's a lot. Like shipping, order processing, picking, which is like pulling the physical product, packaging, shipping, like labeling and shipping. Each aspect of that is very involved. It's a lot of work. It really is. It's a lot of work. And no, thank you. I wouldn't mind doing that, like actually, like that sort of a job, like the actual like picking and packing people's orders. I would have so much fun doing that. That would like appeal to my OCD. I would love that. Like just, but then also I would be the worst, and Heidi would have to fire me because I'd be in the warehouse and being like, you'd find me like sitting in some random aisle with everything spread out around me, and I'd be like opening the pallet. I'd get fired in the first day, probably the first hour, guaranteed, because I'd be like, I didn't realize you had this, and I'd be making a mess. I'd be making a mess, and they'd kick me out. So yeah, if I could prevent that, I would have fun picking the orders and packing them up for everyone. That would be really fun. I would love it. But yeah, I would be the literal, yeah, I would be a kid in a candy store, like just diving into stuff, and it would be bad. It would be bad. That's also why I don't want to run my own store either, because I would have a hard time bringing the product in and then having to give it all away when people buy it. And I'd be like, no, like I want to keep that for me. I wouldn't make any money in the end. So, anywho, we had a good time. I hope all my random explanations made sense. And supermarket sweep. I saw that a couple times. Yep, I remember that. And I especially back when that was like at its heyday, that supermarket sweep thing. That was when I was younger. I'm a young, very young adult, and I had kids. I had kids very young. Ties into my crazy upbringing. Again, not going there, but I remember like living paycheck to paycheck. Things were tight, and I remember that show and just being like, that would have been the most wonderful. Even nowadays, like if I could have a full cart in a grocery store and they let me just fill it in 2 minutes, oh, I'd do it. I would do it. Anyway, oh, Rochelle, yeah, all the positive vibes to your daughter. You couldn't pay me to work for that corporation at all, in any way, shape, or possible, because they don't treat their employees properly at all. That is where, um, like these types of crafty companies, that's why I work with them and promote their products, is because I know that they treat their employees like family, like they pay them well, they treat them well, all the things. Like it's and Simon's a stamp. I know that for a fact. Like she treats her employees very, very well, as it should be, you know, and that's a good that's a good thing. Like who'da thunk, people people being treated good. So yeah. Um. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate all of you a ton. Like it to me sometimes I feel like I sound repetitive. I feel like I sound a little bit redundant because I say it a lot, but it's I mean it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys, the whole thumbs up and commenting thing, which seems silly to some. I get it. It does legit help. Like lives, regular videos, and not just me. Um, any content creator that you enjoy in any aspect. Doesn't have to be just card making, like any of that. Um, Whatever content it is, if it's something you personally enjoy, leaving those like thumbs up leaving comments, commenting especially more than anything, because that's where those robot overlords, aka the algorithms, they track that kind of stuff. And the more, and it's just it's under the umbrella term of base engagement. And the more engagement something gets, the further the algorithm pushes it out. And um, while I don't overwhelm myself with the numbers, we've talked about this many times, and I say this for new content creators as well. Try, especially if you are a creative, if you want to get into like card making, like doing videos, content creation. There's room for everyone. You're welcome. You are everything. There's space for everyone. This is a big sandbox. There's space for everyone. The thing I always want to let people know though is just try not to get too focused on those numbers. You know, they're all well and good. That doesn't mean they're completely meaningless. It's always an exciting when you hit a milestone. Every little milestone's great. I will eventually someday hit 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. It's probably still going to take me another 10 years. Literally, it's just my growth is slow, and I'm okay with that. I am. We will celebrate when it gets to that. Like, we will party hard. I will do a live. It'll be chaos. I will probably cry again. It is what it is. And like Kathy Zilski said, because she's gonna hit it before I do. She's edging up. She's getting close. She's gonna hit. If she hasn't already, she's gonna hit 90 soon, and she'll do a party for 90. It'll be fun. Because she'll get Dan, her husband. She's gonna get him involved. He'll probably make a card. Good times. But she made a comment in one of her lives. She's like, and she was talking to me about, because when you hit 100,000 on YouTube, you get a plaque. So I think it's a play button. You get a play button, and it's cool someday. And her and I were joking. It's like, we're gonna drill a hole in that thing and like put it on a chain and hang it around our necks, because it's like, it's a milestone. It is. It's a big deal. Like, I will not discount that. But the numbers are not everything. It just is what it is. And I don't want people to get too focused on that also. And also because when you start though, like, I'll never forget my first 10 subscribers. It was like, big deal. My first 100 subscribers, big deal. Like, it was amazing. And that was a million years ago. And then your first 1,000, it's just like, every little bit, it matters. And the biggest thing though was just building this little community. And I appreciate you guys, and some of you have been hanging around with me for many, many years. And it's interesting, when I'll make random offhand comments referencing something from the old time, like, the dark ages in card making. And you guys are like, oh yeah, I've been following you since whatever that XYZ random thing is. That always amuses me, because it's like, some of you have been here for a long time. And then some of you are very new. And hopefully I don't scare you off. And sometimes that happens. It's okay. I'm not for everybody. My personality isn't for everyone. That is for sure. And yes. Oh yeah, Kathy Zilski. She's the best. I love her. I am the queen of her fan club. Just so y'all are aware. You can fight me for that. I'll still win. And there's a lot of people asking. I will eventually have Kathy on here at some point. Her and I have discussed it. We're both up for it. It's software, time, chaos. Like, because we're in different time zones, and the software, and figuring all the things. We will. It'll happen. And there's a lot of other makers I would love to have on here too. I've talked to a lot of other makers that I was like, we should do something, even if we're just sitting and yapping while we organize our inks. It'd be fun. We'll get to it. No, I'm not far. I'm very close to like 95K, I think, here on YouTube. I'm not even exactly sure. It's somewhere around there, but it's slow. It's slow going, and that's okay. It takes its time. And I think a big one is people will show up that are new, like don't know me from, hole in the wall, and they'll subscribe. and then they, witness me live or just, my personality, and they're just like, "Yeah, nope, unsubscribe." And it's funny. Again, I don't take it personally. It's all good. It's all good. We're good. Um, doodly doo. Uh, oh, that's fun. And yeah, I love it. And yeah, welcome to the newbies. If you enjoy the chaos, you're in the right place because it is. My lives are usually not. Oof, this one's a long one. Apologies, but we've been talking. We've been talking. I don't usually cry in a live. Every once in a while, it happens. I'm not, it just is what it is. I'm not too. I'd rather not, but today it just hit me. It just did, and that's fine. It's okay. So yeah, but usually doesn't happen. I'm not usually this emotional, but also I will cry over a commercial. Certain things I'll be sitting and scrolling through, Instagram, whatever, and it'll be like some video about puppies or whatever it is, and I'm just like sitting there sobbing over what it's like. I'm just so happy for them. Just, heck, I was doing that. I think I was doing that this morning. I'm sure it happened multiple times a day. It'll be just something random, that pops up, and it's just emotional sabotage. So yeah, I cry at the drop of a hat. I really do. Today was just that talking about my grandmas, and it just hit me, It's like I really miss them. But yeah, I have good memories of them, so it's all good. It's all good. And I appreciate you guys. Like, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you tuning in. All of it. It helps. Yeah. And yeah, the lives are not for everybody. I'm speaking to the choir with you guys. Those that are especially still here after I finished the card an hour ago or whatever it was. But yeah, lives are not for everyone. I don't plan on like switching over to just lives. I literally don't have the time. And two, like even I love doing them. Like this is fun. But yeah, I couldn't anyway. My life literally is too chaotic. But once a week and then the occasional bonus one. Um, here and there that we fit in. And then most of my content will always remain the pre-recorded, edited, sped up, like condensed, so it's not taking up tons of people's time. And then also every once in a while, um, I'll do like real time card making. Like so the video's longer, but it's pre-recorded, but it's done in real time and I talk while I do it and just so I can explain better. I kind of like to mix it up. I like to mix it up. Um, yeah, I think some of you guys get it. Certain shows, certain movies, certain things. It's even a movie you've seen 5 million times and you watch it again and like It's a Wonderful Life. I'm gonna cry. I will cry when I watch that one. You gotta watch it at Christmas time, and it's just like sob, you know? All those ones. So, yeah. But yeah, usually it's like some random little whatever. Little good news moments. That's the other thing that I follow outside of like the card making or crafting, because it's not just card makers that I follow on social media and stuff. Just other like artist stuff and just creative content. But then I also like to follow ones like the types of accounts that are just dedicated to just sharing good news, like positive things, positive stories. Sometimes it's about puppies, other times it's just about this like cool thing that happened or whatever. And more often than not, I'm sitting there just sobbing, like I'm just so happy for them. But hey, positivity. The world needs more of it. So, yeah, that kind of stuff. Anyway, and yeah, craft therapy. Crafting is therapy. That's why I do what I do. That's what I do. What I do. And I appreciate you guys sitting through me just yapping and yapping and yapping all day today. And yeah, I'm going to have more videos coming. I did a decent amount of cleanup while I was talking to you guys, so this won't take me too long. Steel Magnolias. I've only watched that movie once. Ugh. Ugly cried. Ugly cried. That is such a good movie. Yeah. Yeah. I Yeah. There's some, like, just phenomenal actors in that movie. Anyway, yeah, no, that one is one where I've watched it once. I will watch it again at some point, you know, because it is a good movie. Um, do do do. Oh yeah, Lynn, that chapter in Anna Green Gables, yeah, same thing. I was a kid when I read those books. Um, sobbed, sobbed in that one. That chapter was hard. Those are just good books, really good books. Yeah, yeah. Mine. Can I even show them? I actually have them in here. I have my original. Um, if you give me 1 second, I might be able to grab one. I have my original Anna Green Gables. These books are 30 years old at this point. Um, okay, and I'm not going to cry this time, or I'll try not to. Here's my. There's my. I've had. Yeah, it's all yellowed. I've had these since I was a kid, and I have the whole series of Anna Green Gables. And yeah, I have read them. This one isn't as bad. Like, well, yeah, the spine is like completely coming off. Uh, but yeah, I have the whole little series of these in paperback, and I've read them many, 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 many times. Like the pages are curled up and stuff. I'm gonna have to read them again. It has been a while since I've read these. These were just good books. As a kid, I had these and the um, Laura Ingalls Wilder books, Little House on the Prairie. I have that series, and I still have those original ones, and they're in about the same condition, very worn out, because I was like 9 or 10 when I got those, and I've got a few other ones that are very old books, and yeah, I love them. Very well loved, and I've held on to these. And I'll never get rid of them ever. I bought my kids some books, like their own versions of some of them, because it's like I'm not going to give them like these are mine. These are my books. These are mine. And because also there's like some of them literally you open up and the pages are falling out, like they're literally falling apart. So yeah. Oh yes, and the Chronicles of Narnia. Read those as a kid as well. I didn't have a whole lot of access to books. I didn't have access to a library except for at school. And yeah, I was only allowed to read certain things. So, but yeah, Chronicles of Narnia, Anna Green Gables, Little House on the Prairie, and just a very small handful of some old book. Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. I have that one around here somewhere. And there was one it's a very old book. It's called What Katie Did. And I would show you guys it, but it's behind some other books. But and it's old. It's a very old book. But it was called What Katie Did, and then there was a sequel to it called What Katie Did Next. And those were published, goodness, over 100 years ago. I'm not sure how old my copies are. They're old. Oh, and Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. That was another one. Yep, I had Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. I had both of those. I had a bunch of those. Those ones, sadly, I didn't have like original, like old ones, the originals. I had the newer version because Costco used to sell those. Because I used to go to Costco when they first opened a Costco up here in Saskatchewan. Not quite 30 years ago. Not quite. But we had a Costco membership, and yeah, Costco was selling the hardcover sets um, of Nancy Drew. With the bright bill and the Hardy Boys ones. And those ones my parents would buy me. And I had almost all of them. And I had to get rid of them when I got divorced because I had to downsize. And that is one of my regrets. Little Women. funny enough, Little Women, and I still have my copy. Little Women was the first secular book I was ever given, in a sense. A cousin gave it to me. I remember that. It was a very like clear memory. It was like a Christmas present, and I loved it. I still have it. It's here. So yeah, Little Women, and then later on, I was able to get same thing. I think Costco sold it. I have the volume of like Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, same, and it's like the book itself is like enormous, enormous. Read those 5 million times. Um, do do do. Yeah, see, and I never read the boxcar children books. I never had access to those ones. Um, do do do. I'm just scrolling through your guys's. Oh, the Babysitters Club. Babysitters Club. When I was in, well, it would be middle school, they had them at the school library, and I would read those at school, and I would leave them at school, along with a few. I remember reading a few other books, but again, my parents were in a religious cult, so there was some things that I would read that, looking back, it's like the Babysitters Club is about as benign and non-threatening as you can possibly get. But yeah, I read those at school. I remember that. I would do that a lot of times during recess. I would have books, and I would find like a place in the playground where nobody else was, where I could be just left alone, and I would sit and read because I was a nerd. It was what it was. But yeah, the library at the elementary school, we had a big library at that school. I remember like the card catalog was huge. Like looking back now, we had an impressive library, really, in that school. And a couple of really good librarians, one of whom I can't remember their name for the life of me, but she was a wonderful woman. Like I think she picked up on some of the things with me and what I was going through. And she would kind of like nudge me in directions with different books, good person. But yeah, the card catalog, another thing so many kids have no clue. I used to know how I could find anything. But yeah, do. Yeah, it was a great library. It really was. Because I did not even step foot in a public library until I was well into my adulthood. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, which is just sad, really, because books. Let me, now that we're getting into, we'll take a little bit of time. I'm going to grab a couple. I'll show you. I think I can find that What Katie Did book because it's interesting and it's old. It's old. Y'all, I hit the mother load. We'll just take a little trip down memory lane here because I love to talk about books. I don't have enough time to read. I haven't read anything new or exciting. First off, look what I found. There it is. Because that's my favorite version of Little Women was that movie. I didn't get to see it till much later, but this was the one my cousin gave to me, and it's stained, you know. But yeah, and love it. Still have it. 30 years. Forget when not quite 30 years. When was this published? I forget. Does it say on this one? 93. Yeah, over 30 years. Love it. So I got that one. And here we go. I found them. So this was the first one. Here, let me just we're just having a book chat, you know? If you guys wanna, let's just go to, there we go. We can, so this is the one. That's my grandma. 1946 she was given this book, and it is very well loved. I have not opened this book in a very, very long time. It is, goodness, almost 100 years old. Yeah. You know. And it's a good book. It's a good book. It's Katie, who the book is about. I highly recommend if you can get your hands on it. It's such a good story. She's very like strong-willed, and it's a good book. It's a good book. I really identified with her. That's obviously why my grandma gave me this and got me into it. But yeah, this is a very old book. I didn't realize it was 46. It doesn't even say. It just says made and printed in Great Britain. Crazy, hey? Ugh, and it's literally just, yeah. So yeah, nearly 100 years old. And then the second one she had, and same thing. Oh, my grandma got it for her next birthday. Love that. So yeah, this was the sequel, and it had like, you know. So they're just good. Oh, I have not read these in almost 30 years now. I'm gonna have to read them again. I remember really enjoying them. So, but these are very much prized possessions. So yeah, those ones. Oh, I did have a Bobbsey twins. I forgot. I've got a few. I had a few Bobbsey twins. I've got a few originals, like, or just old hardcovers. I don't know. MTM would be 19. You guys, my brain is slow. If someone, I know Roman numerals, but it's been a long day. So MCML, what year would that be? Isn't that 19? Now, where's my phone? I can Google this myself. I can Google who's gonna win. Who's gonna get here faster? Because now I'm just curious. MCML. 1950. 1950. So this one's almost 100 years old too. Like 75 years old. So yeah, I've got a couple Bobbsey twins. Oh, and this was another one that I read over and over as a kid. I think my grandma gave this to me. Too funny. It was originally published in 1913. No, it's not this version. That's for darn sure. Yeah. Oh, first Scholastic printing, January of 91. Yeah, that tracks. I got this in the early 90s, and I'm pretty sure that my $3.95 Canadian. You know? Yeah, you guys got it. I got it faster. Haha, before you got through. 1950. So yeah, but yeah, this was a good book. I loved this was Family Robinson. Those sorts of like adventure castaway type stories. So yeah, I read a lot as a kid. I would just hole myself up in my room and read all the time. All the time. And it was these like Anne of Green Gables, Swiss Family Robinson, yep, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. That one. The What Katie Did books, but that was later because my grandma kept those until she passed them on to me. And then yeah, oh, and the Laura Ingalls Little House on the Prairie books and that sort of a thing. So there's a few of my very, very torn up old books that I treasure and will never get rid of ever. I love them so much. I take offense at 1950 being almost 100 years old. We're getting there. It's 75. years. 1950 was 75 years ago. That's crazy when you think about it. You know? It's crazy. It is completely insane. So yeah, 75 years. It's nuts. It's nuts. So yeah, that is my some of my just childhood books because I keep them all in here. That was one of the reasons why I here. Let me switch back to the. There we go. That was one of the reasons why I was like I had a heart attack when it flooded a bit in here because all my books are in here. I've got a big calyx unit, and I have my books higher up. I don't keep them like on the bottom cubes because I keep them higher up. But when we discovered the flooding, that the first time it happened a couple months ago, that was my first like. You think me crying today was about? I would have had an epic meltdown, like epic. It would have been awful. Like I was I was just like, are my books okay? Are my books okay? And they were. Everything was fine. Everything was fine. So yeah, I'm slowly building up my book collection. Because again, when I got divorced, I got rid of a lot because I just didn't have the space for them, and now I'm just slowly building it up again. And then yeah, do. Okay. Yeah, to me they are priceless. These older ones, they are. They are um they are some of my most prized possessions. And I love books. I've mentioned this. That was actually one of the first that was the first thing that caught my eye with Chris is because of the dating scene. You couldn't pay me to go back on the dating scene. Literally. I was done. I was done. After the divorce, I did that for a bit. Some of you've been following me for a long time. Remember, I had stories when I was like in the dating scene. It was awful. It was awful. Literally, it was awful. Some of it was funny, but a lot of it was awful, horrible. And I was done. I was done. I remember telling a friend of mine, I was like, I've met this new guy. I'm giving him a week to just spark my interest. And I was like, and then I'm done. I will be a spinster forever. I don't care. Like I was done. And yeah, that was the first, because that was the first thing he was asking me about was reading. Like what were my favorite books? And we started this whole discussion about books and reading, and he was telling me the kind of books he had read, and he got me interested in some other like series and different things. And that's where we went. And then on our very first Valentine's Day, he gave me a book. And I I cried. I'm pretty sure I cried. He said the look on my face, and I was like, you gave me a book? Like, love it. Oh, and it was the first in the Wheel of Time series. That's a good series. Insanely long. It takes years. There's like 14 books in that series. It's crazy. I've talked about this before. I have. I've mentioned the wheel, like this whole thing. But yeah, he got me into the Wheel of Time series, and I have read all of them. I eventually will reread them because it's a long series. It's a long series. So yeah. Hmm. Oh yeah, like my little calyx unit. I have the books are double stacked because calyx are deep, you know. So I have like a row of books stacked up, and then a second row in front. That's why I wasn't sure I was even going to be able to find these ones to show you guys because I was like, but these actually happen to be sort of like right in front, so I was able to grab them, and then I'll just have to be very careful to put them back. Um, but yeah, no, Chris and I both, we love to read. We just don't right now. This point in our lives, we just don't have the time for it. Like we'll do like every once in a while we'll get little bits of time to read, and I do more usually in the winter. When things are less outside time, all the things. So I've got a stack. I have a stack. I'm not even exaggerating. That's like it's more than it's like woo. Like I have a stack of books beside the bed of my to be read, and then I've got a stack in here too of a bunch of books that I'm just like I'll get to it eventually. You know, um, and they're so thinking. Oh yeah, the Wheel of Time. Oh, Outlander. I haven't even read the newest one. Outlander series. So good. I stumbled upon that one just because, again, I grew up in a very sheltered, weird situation. While I love to talk about books and I love having these conversations with you guys, there's a lot that I'm just not aware of. I haven't read them, never heard of them. You know, like there's just all, like there's so much. The world of books is amazing. Outlander, I stumbled across, it was over a decade ago. And I was kind of like, you know, like, And then I started reading it and, you know, she is so good. Diana Gabaldon. I think that's how they pronounce it because I have it on Audible too. I have Outlander on Audible. Um, so good. They're so good. Really good. They get intense for those that, you know, there are parts of those books that are very difficult to get through, but she is a phenomenal writer. Love them. Anyway, the newest one I haven't read. I have it. Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. I got it the second it was released, but it's been so long. I started reading it and I was like, I don't remember. So I want to go back and read all of them. And she's working on the next one. It's coming. It's coming. I have watched some of the series. I will say, I liked the series in the beginning. I'm going to be a little bit nitpicky and negative, but this is just my own personal opinion. I enjoyed the series at first. I thought that like the actors they chose are really good. They're amazing, especially like the actor for Claire and Jamie. So good, great chemistry. Love them. I tried to get back into, I forget what season. I watched up until season whatever, and then we tried to get back into it, and I was really annoyed. Like I don't know, it just wasn't hitting. But it might have just been my attitude at the time. Like I think they did a really good job in the beginning, and then it just I don't know that whatever season it was that we were trying to watch, I was just found it really frustrating, and I was like, she doesn't talk like that. Like, and I forget, it was like Claire's daughter, you know, and I was like, she's not like that. She doesn't talk like that. Like, I was just annoyed. But yeah, it's still good. The books are amazing though. The books are phenomenal, and the series is really good. And I will get back into it, but I don't have time. I don't have time. Doodly doo. Dungeon crawler call. Yes, I think I have those. I've heard they're really good. Um, I have those on Audible. I'm not sponsored by Audible. I wish. I don't even know if Audible does. They used to do like heavy YouTube sponsorships. I would take that money in a heartbeat. I like Audible. I think I have them on Audible. My problem is I got into Audible because I was like, oh, I can like listen, you know, and work. I can multitask and like get my work done and do edit and all these things. I can't. I can't. I'll find myself just sitting here listening to whatever book, you know, just absorbed in the story, and I cannot multitask. Like, yeah, yeah. Or I'd be sitting here crying, depending on what part of the story and what story I'm listening to, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so flat, and I'm just a mess. And then Chris comes in, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "It's just a really good book." I need therapy. Anyway, oh, don't even get me started about The Witcher. Chris got me into The Witcher. I have the books. I just started reading them. The books are very different from the series. And then there's video games. The Witcher is very different from what people expect because like there's books and there's games and they tie in. And Henry Cavill as the witch, as Geralt. Oh, love it. Love it. Seriously. No words. If you want just I can't, that show is, it's a lot. It is violent, it is gory, it's not for everyone. But if you just want to see Henry Cavill go around, he's got like this white wig and he's all like muscular and yeah. Yep. And he doesn't say much, you know, when he's just like, And then I'm not going to say the word, but you know, he says the F word a lot. And it just, and my other pet peeve with The Witcher is apparently, and this happened in the game. It's a silly little thing, but I remember Chris telling about it. It's really funny. But his horse in the game, there would always be glitches, and the horse would be in random spots, like up on the roof, things like that. And so a lot of people, me included, were expecting that to happen in the TV show, that the horse would just, because he's just an ornery little thing, and they didn't do that, and I'm kind of annoyed. Um, but yeah, I've got the books and I started them. I'm salty over that all falling out and them not keeping Henry Cavill as they should have. It was perfect. Henry Cavill was perfect as the Witcher. Like, very mad about that. So they ruined it. They totally ruined it. And we didn't even watch the new season because both of us were just like, no. So, yes, his horse is always Roach. That's what the horse is named, Roach. And it's always Roach because he goes through many horses, but they're always called Roach. And Roach is just, he's got his own little personality. And yeah, he ends up on the roof and like in random little spots. It's really funny. But yeah, the show is good. It's just Netflix behind the scenes fumbled that one big time. So you get 2 seasons with him and it's very confusing. The first season it's still really, really good, but it's multiple timelines and they're jumping around these timelines like to tell the story and it's very confusing. But honestly, shut your brain off and just watch Henry Cavill in a white wig. You're blessed. We're blessed. Oh my goodness. Anyway, um yeah, I know. See, this is why I keep these lives going for a ridiculous amount of time because you guys are my people. You get it. You get it. But yeah, I have the books. They're in my to be read list because Chris got them for me because he's like, you need to read these. They're really good. So yeah, I will read them. And yeah, I am one of those people too. It's really hard. I prefer if I know that a movie or a show is coming out that's based on a book, then I'll wait to watch the show or the movie first and then read the book. Because when I read the book, yeah, I build it in my head how I think people should look, how I think they should talk, because I see it all in my head. And it's always never the same. And then I'm always disappointed in the show because, my expectations are up here. And then it's just like, but I will say, again, Outlander, the first few seasons, they did a really good job. They did a really good job. Like, it was very, very well done. It's like they nailed how people should have looked and talked and that they just changed it. They changed it. They kind of you have to though. You have to change things to make it work for television. Like a book and a screen, different things. With The Witcher, I'm not sure how many books there are. Honestly, I have no idea because that's the problem with it. It's weird because they've been translated. They weren't written in English, so they were translated. And then there's video games for it. There's 2 games, I think. I'm not even sure. There's a couple. I've never played the games. Chris played them years ago. Um, I don't think I will get into the games because I don't have time. But yeah, there's the books and yeah, um, yeah, Game of Thrones. That's all. I have those. I've read all of Game of Thrones. That he's never gonna finish that series. I'll be shocked if he ever finishes it. It's yeah, talk about a confusing mess. Hoy, those books are something else, and the show. They had so much going for them. All just that last season. I don't even have words for the anger I expressed during the last season of Game of Thrones. Because, yeah, I've read the books. Yeah, George R.R. Martin is. Yeah. Yeah, he's never going to finish them. He's never going to finish it. Like, he's pretty much made it clear he's never going to finish it. So I'm just like, ugh. But I have them. I've read them. And I watched the show. The show was good. And then they ruined it. Anyway. Oh, is it a 4th Witcher? That's right. Yeah, more is coming out with The Witcher. I remember hearing that. Oh, yes, Darlene. Yes, Janet Ivanovich by the Stephanie Plum series. Though I don't have physical copies of that. I had those on one of my tablets years ago. Someone had told me about them, and I was like, sure, whatever. And back then, this was before, it wasn't a Kindle, it was just like on an iPad, and I had a bunch of them. Those are good books. If you like funny, they're kind of mystery. There's a bit of mystery to them, but they're funny and they're easy to read. And there's like a million of them now, I think. I was telling someone about those just like a couple months ago. We were in a bookstore, and I was like, "Hey, you would like these? Like, these are good books." I've only read up to 10 or 11, maybe. Each one has a number. It's like one for the money, two for the show. I think are the literal first two books, and then every one is the numbers in the title. They're amusing. They're really good. They're funny and they're just entertaining. They're just entertaining books. I really enjoy them. Uh, um, but yeah, I recommend those ones. Yeah, man, like, yeah, um, I can't craft and listen to audiobooks at the same time because I will literally just like I just stop doing what I'm doing and then I'm just sitting there and I'm just listening. I'm just in the story. And yes, Jason Momoa in Game of Thrones. Yep. Jason Momoa in anything, really. He's good eye candy. I follow him on Instagram for the eye candy. Yep. Yep. That's a good. Yeah, yeah, it's the Janet Ivanovich, yeah, into the 30s. There's a lot in that series, but they're all like pretty easy to read. They're not like crazy. Um, yeah. Okay. No, there's some good suggestions. I like the book. Well, one of these days, and it won't be for a while. One of these days, I'll have to start doing some just like almost like book talk lives, where we can just talk about books and things. That has been requested many times, and I love it. Now, I've read several Nicholas Sparks books. I like his books. I do. They make them all into movies. Every single one basically has been made into a movie, and they're kind of sappy and um, but I like them. I enjoy them. I've read several of them. I've seen like almost all the movies that have been made off his books. And what are some other good ones? Um, I'm just looking at my. I recommended this was a couple years ago. I recommend the book Lessons in Chemistry. Very good book, like so good. And that one was made into a series on Apple. That's the only reason I haven't seen it because it's like I'm not paying for another subscription service. I refuse. But I know they made that one into a series and it was really good. I've seen clips of it and I eventually want to watch it. Um, do do do. Yes, Melissa. He wrote the Notebook. Nicholas Sparks wrote the Notebook. Um, he's written a bunch. You would know if you want. When this is done, you can look it up, and you'll probably recognize a lot of his books because most of them have been made into movies. Like his books, well, a lot of books nowadays. It's like book to movie pipeline. It happens. But yeah, Lessons in Chemistry. That was a phenomenal book. Really, really good. Loved it. And what's some other ones that I really, really liked? Um, those are all the Wheel of Time. Yeah, Nora Roberts books. She's got like 5 million. She's basically a factory. We've talked about this one. So I don't care. I love her books. I love Nora Roberts books. She's very formulaic in her writing. She just falls, and it works for her. It works for her. It makes her $1 bajillion, and I buy them all. I don't care. I love Nora Roberts books. They just, for me, it's like that. It's a comfort thing because I know what to expect. She'll surprise me here and there within the story, but yeah, I really like it. And she has a lot of like trilogies within her books too, and I love that. So it's like a lot of trilogies, and she gets into the um kind of mythical Irish, magic, some witches, a little bit here and there, those sorts of things will also tie into a lot of stories. Some of them are just like romance in that sense. Um, They're good. They're good. I like them. And yes, JD Robb. I stumbled across those a few years. I didn't realize that that was her, that was her pseudonym. Um, and I have the entire JD Robb series. I have them all. That is a big chunk of my book collection because there's like a million. There's like 60 of them now because she releases 2 a year of the In Death series. Those ones are a little darker, a little more disturbing. Love them. Love them. Don't care. I just every time there's a new one, yeah. And Chris knows when we're at a bookstore, he's like, "Do you have this one?" Because he knows he picks out like a Nora Roberts or a JD Robb, and it's to the point now I need to keep a list. I had to on my phone, and I have to go through it and put it on my phone of the ones I don't have because I have almost all of Nora Roberts and almost all of JD Robb. And with JD Robb, it just needs to be the newest ones because I have them all. But Nora Roberts, I have most of them. I lucked out years ago. Someone was selling a bunch secondhand, like a box of her books secondhand, and I was just like, and I got them for like $15 and read them all. Like once I got into them, I was just like, these are so good. I love them. For me, they're a comfort read. They're just comfort. I just, I don't really have to think. It's not too deep. It's just like entertainment. It's like putting on a movie. That's how I feel with Nora Roberts books. Oh yes, Project Hail Mary. That's the other one. Cannot recommend that book enough. Wilma, you are in for. Oh, I'm jealous. Literally, I was just saying that to Chris the other day. If I could have a wish, if I could erase the memory of Project Hail Mary to read it again for the first time, it's so good. He is a brilliant writer. I could not put it down, and I'm not even kidding. When I finished that book, I almost cried because it was over. Not because I was sad. I was just sad it was over. It was such a good book. It was such a good book. And yeah, the movie's coming out next year, I think. Yeah. Where did I put it? I think it might be in Chris's office. Because that one, as soon as I was done it, I like shoved it in his face. I was like, "You read it now." Um, and yes, he wrote The Martian, which that's on my list. I forget the name of the author. Someone will put it in the chat. Um, Andy something. Um, one of you will remember before I do. But yeah, Project Hail Mary. Here, I'll show the image of it so you guys know what to. Project Hail. Heck yeah. Andy Weir. Ha! I never remember things. There. That's what it looks like. They'll have a new cover because a movie is going to be coming out with Ryan Gosling, which that'll be interesting. Yeah, it's coming out next year. This book, it's so good. It's so good. And yeah, he wrote The Martian. And that movie was amazing too. I want to read The Martian. Because yeah, it is a very, very, very good book. Has he written anything else other than he's an American author? Oh, he wrote Artemis. He's wrote a few. I've never. Yeah, because he wrote the Martian. That's another one, but that's on my list. So highly recommend. It's a great book. It's a great book. I can't say anything. You just have to experience it. It's some pretty phenomenal writing. It just sucks you in to the story, and yeah, it was an experience. I can't explain it any other. It was one of the most favorite books I've ever read. So, yeah. Um do 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 I'm just do not ever tell me if the math or science doesn't work in Project Hail Mary. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. What they're dealing with in that book and how they're dealing with it, the math and the science don't matter. You'll know when you read it, you'll understand what I mean. One, I'm usually able to kind of separate myself from a lot of that because sometimes it's like this. It doesn't work like that in real life. This is silly. Like you can't get, shot 30 times and raw, and you're just like all those different things. Yeah, the math and the science in that one, it doesn't matter. It doesn't because what they're dealing with and how it works or doesn't work doesn't apply to most physics and science and all the things in our current state. That's all I can say. Which makes it more believable in a sense, because it's in a sense you're kind of dealing with future tech, alien tech in a sense, kind of. That's all I'm going to say because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. It's Three Body Problem. I haven't. We watched the show. Chris was so excited for Three Body Problem. That was a good show. It's something else. You're getting into futuristic, chaos. Very excited for the next season of that. It was something else. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, Project Hail Mary and Lessons in Chemistry. Those are my two more recent ones that I was just like could not put down. They were such good books. Totally different genres. Completely different genres, but very good. And I'm just trying to think if there's any. I haven't really read anything else because I haven't been reading in a while. I haven't had time, which makes me sad. But I'll get back into it. They're not going. My books aren't going anywhere. Another good one, like the Kate Morton books are really good. I can't see all my books like at a book club. We'll do something. And I haven't read the Expanse book series. I would probably like it. Probably. I like books kind of like I like music. I like little bits of everything. I don't really stick with one genre because I get bored. That's the ADHD in me. So yeah, it always just it depends on the story. Like what the story is. So I'm all over the place. Like everything from like Little Women and Anna Green Gables all the way to like J.D. Robb in Death, Stephen King. This will be my last little story. I love talking about. This is ridiculously long of a live. People are gonna see the timestamp on this and be like, "It took you 4 hours to make that card. You're insane." You guys know. Anyway, when I was in high school, again, my upbringing, all the things. We're not gonna go there. I won't get into it right now. Someday. Again, I have very narrow experience with the outside world in a lot of ways. Didn't have television, very limited access to books, all that stuff. And I needed to do a book report. The first time I did a book report, because also I was homeschooled for a big chunk of it. Hey, nothing like religious cult and then add homeschooling into that mix creates a very sheltered child. Anyway, the first one I did was on, I think, either Pride and Prejudice or Sense and Sensibility. Because, that was the only, because all the other books I had were meant for children, and I couldn't do that at a high school level. And then, now I have to look that up. Okay, so then when I needed to do a very involved book report, and now my brain is like, I'll know it the second I see it. Oops, if I could spell properly. Because it's a movie. Well, they're all movies. They made so many movies. Books. The Shining. Duh. The Shining. I got my hands on Stephen King's The Shining. That was my first. Yeah, that was the first book I read, like of a horror book, and I loved it. I loved Stephen King is the way that man can write is just I've read a lot of his books. I refuse I won't even go near it. The whole clown thing. I don't know, someday maybe. Ugh. Uh, but The Shining, I remember like I had, a few friends that were also part of the same like cult and everything else. But when we got to be teenagers, we found ways to sneak. Like I look back and it's like we were not that rebellious. We didn't really do anything bad, really. But one thing we loved to do was once we had, because we all had part time jobs and we'd have spending money and things. Is we'd get together for weekends for sleepovers, and our big thing for a couple years there when we were like 15, 16 is getting horror movies. Like whatever we had to find the scariest movie we possibly could, and we would wait till the parents were fully asleep and we would be downstairs. We'd put in this, The Shining or whatever and like terrify ourselves. So I remember seeing the movie at whatever point. I can't remember if I saw it as a teenager. I saw it later, but the book is something else. The book is something else. So I remember reading that and just being like, these people are insane. And it's terrifying. So anyway, I remember I was so enthusiastic about I made props. I wish I had photos of it. In the book, they never did this in the movie. In the book, there was like masquerade masks. I remember that because got left in an elevator. Remember it just, and I made one. I paper mache'd. I created this elaborate masquerade mask and had like feather. It was blue and glittery, and like I stayed out, and I used to stay up all night. I used to do everything the day before everything was due because I was a massive procrastinator and also just a night owl and all the things. But yeah, I made so many props for my book report because we had to present it and everything too, which, oh, that's when I first started figuring out like I have social anxiety. I didn't have a word for it, but I had severe social anxiety because doing book reports, I nearly threw up every time. So yeah, I did the props and I did my book report on The Shining, and I just remember I was so enthusiastic about it, which the teacher loved. All the other like kids in the class were just like looking at me like I was insane, and I was like, and then there's like blood everywhere and blah. Oh yeah, I've been creative since I was a kid. Like this is why I say I have asbestos fingers. Is like I was using a hot glue gun at a very young age and like burning myself with that kind of stuff, and that was I being creative, for projects and things like that. Like I did at one point, again, this will be my last story. We had to do a medieval festival. We had to do a medieval festival for school, which when I look back now, some of the thought process behind all that was ridiculous. But the teacher wanted it to be as authentic as possible. So she wanted like tapestries. And back then, they were able to get the school was able to get their hands on like massive rolls of paper. Like these rolls were like 6 feet of paper rolled out to hundreds of feet. And since I was the artistic one, I got sent home with like just these huge things, and I would find books because this was before that we really had the internet, and I would hand copy. I hand drew like tapestries, hand drew and painted these just massive. They were 6 feet by 10, and I did more than one so they could hang them up. Those are long gone. They probably got thrown out. So things like that. I would have loved in a school, an art department, like a theater art department. I would have been that person building the backdrops for, a school like that. I didn't even know that was a thing, until I was an adult. Oh, I got a bug in here. I would have been in like that like a dirty shirt with the paint and the wood and the hot glue gun. I would be building all of them backdrops and props and stuff. It would have been fun. So you watch Misery. I have not seen Misery. Chris has, and he said to this day he cannot look at Kathy Bates the same. And I've seen clips of it. She is a phenomenal actor. She's such a phenomenal actor. But yeah, in that movie, she was something else. Yep. Yep. So yeah, now you guys have a deeper look into why I am the way I am. Yeah, Kathy Bates is phenomenal. Do, do, do. See, my thing with Stephen King is it's not necessarily the scariness, like the scary parts, even though again, I'm avoiding it. I don't know if I can handle it. Because my thing with Stephen King is he has a way to like he rips off the veneer off of humanity and he dives into like their darkest, most twisted nature. That's the thing with Stephen King. And we're talking about books. This is now Amy's book talk or book club. Yeah. See? I was showing them my books, some of them. It just, we fell down a rabbit hole. And then some of them, they all agreed. Like The Witcher, Henry Cavill, hello. And now that he's no longer part of it, total loss to humanity. And then someone just mentioned, because we were talking about Stephen King and Misery.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He will not look at Kathy Bates the same. Because she was that good. Yeah. But yeah, no, Stephen King just, oh, The Dome. That's another one I read. I only read that one about 20 years ago. Not quite. But it was well over a decade ago. I read The Dome. That, like, he just has this way of showing the darkest sides of human beings. And he's really good at it. And it's really creepy. It's really creepy. And it's just so good. So good. Geraldine, you're funny. Yeah. Yeah. It's just, that kind of stuff fascinates me. It really does. There's those few authors. Like, there's so many good ones. There's a lot of good ones and there's a lot of good books. And then there's some authors like Stephen, like there's those few that they have this way about telling a story or doing a certain genre that is just so well done. It's like it's a gift. They have a gift, you know. They're very good at what they do. They're very smart and they're very well versed, but they have a gift. And Stephen King, that's where his is just he can just get in there. And though I don't read his stuff hardly ever because it sits with me for a really long time and it's dark and it's depressing and it's like, but they're so good. Another good one is what was the other one I tried to read? Or not tried to read, I read. This is also why, because my brain ain't the same, and I can't... Is it James Patterson? Is it James Patterson? I don't think that's... Was it? No, because I... No, because that one's become a stupid... I can't remember. Anyway, we will stick a pin in this conversation, and we will, at some point, Nerdy Girl, I can't imagine what it's like to be in his head. I know, right? He seems like a very down-to-earth dude. I used to follow him back in the day on social media. Before I deleted my Twitter account, I refused to call it a new platform. We're not getting into that discussion. But I used to follow him on Twitter, and he used to post on there a lot. And it was just, it was very interesting. It was very interesting sometimes, just, you know, interacting with Stephen King in real life. It was weird, but also a good time. Like, brilliant human being. Doodly doo. Yeah, my brain cells are just not as good as they used to be. You know, my brain cells are just not as good as they used to be. My memory retention isn't as good as it used to be. Part of that was COVID, literally, because I had it twice and I noticed a difference. Like, I've had a hard time like remembering things, which has been great. But yeah, we're gonna stick a pin in this conversation. At some point, I don't know when or how, we will have to do something. Just a live stream that's dedicated to us just chatting. Yeah, like a book club or something, you know? Because I like the idea, like I have received many good recommendations from you guys. And like the Project Hail Mary, that was Kathy Zielski. She recommended that one to me. She was raving about it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get it." And she was like, "You are in for such a good time." You know, and then I've been raving about it to everyone since I read it. And then Lessons in Chemistry got recommended to me by, I think it was one of you guys. I forget. Someone recommended that one to me, and there have been a few other ones that have popped up that people are like, "Oh, like you should get into this." And I was just like, "Sure, why not?" You know? It's always fun. So, yeah, yeah, menopause. That's always fun too. So, I'm glad, you know, I enjoyed you guys hanging out with me, you know, and chatting, and it was good. It was good. It was fun. I do. I love to read. I love to read. I just need more hours in the day because reading, sadly, is not something I can multitask with. I can't. I really can't. And even with, like I've said before, even with the audiobooks, I can't really multitask with those either because I just stop. I just go completely still. And I'm just like, I'm in the book. I'm in it, living it, enjoying it. It's super good. So we will do it, and yeah, we'll figure something out at some point. And yeah, I'm gonna go. This is just almost 4 hours, you guys. It was fun though. I very much enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I can't even split apart this live to like cut out because that messes with everything. So I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna add a note when I post this to like my blog and stuff, and I'll just be like, it's not this long. If you want to stay for, you know, a bunch of chatter and a walk down memory lane with my little book collection, you know, but the actual card making is from here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll be like, the card making is from here to here with a minor interruption in the middle of Amy crying, which is whatever. But I very much appreciate you guys. And I think before you go to sleep, that's when I read. Yeah, usually I do. That's actually the only time, like when Chris and I will watch like TV, because we'll watch a show or something and then go to bed, because that's the only time we have, and we don't even have time to keep up with that half the time. We don't have time. That's all I ever say. But yeah, this was fun. This was fun. It was a fun chat. I had fun. I just did not realize it was this long. Whoops. So, and yes, Mari, hopefully I will get cards sent out this week. Because again, I've got a couple appointments where I have to leave my house. So, hoping to get it done. And then yeah, I appreciate you all tons. And I'll be seeing y'all in the next video. Still planning on doing a card making live, a bonus one, in the next couple-ish days, maybe. Hopefully this week. We shall see what happens. But there will be more, and I will talk to you guys later. I gotta run. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!